think it is good because we know that most of you have other events and activities in the afternoon. That's why we said yes, we can squeeze our program to make sure we make it before lunch. As you can see, we start with opening remarks and presentation by Oxfam. After the presentation, we will have the life story from a lady called Mariciana. We will have 2 panel discussions, and after the panel discussions, we will wrap up with the recommendations, and then we call it a day. So kindly, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome here forward the chairperson of EPRN, Professor Charles Ruranga, to come forward as we are clapping for him. If you are happy, thank you. Free sitting, it's fine. We have the country director, legacy manager of the Oxfam in Rwanda, Immaculée. Karibu sana. And we have the guest of honor, Naib COO, Sandrine. She's here representing the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Sandrine. Without further ado, I want to welcome the Professor Charles, the chairperson of EPRN, to give us welcome remarks. Prof, karibu sana.
Good morning. Sorry we start somehow late. I was in another event which was urgent. Representative of Ministry of Agriculture, all protocol observed. Very happy to welcome you all in this policy dialogue organized with different partners, and where we will have time to discuss during the panel discussion and a different presentation. On behalf of EPRN, you are all welcome in this policy dialogue. As you know, EPRN is network for researchers, and with the purpose to conduct research which respond to the needs of the community. So we do research with purpose. It is not just to do research. There are some time where in academic side you can do research for publication, for papers, books, but now we need to add another step, the doing research for specific purpose. At the end of any research, you need to be sure to say that I have contributed in A, B, C, D. The community in the specific area or in the region, in the country, and many other places have these challenges. So we have conducted this research, and the proposed solution to the problem is this, and how to implement it. So we have with the policy dialogue, it is possible to bring the fundings out and give a clear orientation on how those fundings will be implemented. So that is in brief. So we have a network. I think many of you are members of EPRN network. If not yet, you can contact any member of the secretariat. We have the set and the other colleagues to know exactly how to be member of EPRN, because there are many support given to members. So it is very interesting to be a member of EPRN. Second, I want to thank all partners who supported this event. So we have the financial support. When we have around 100 in the room like this. So we all welcome, and we are expecting the contribution from your side. If you have the research fundings, so we need to have it with clear ways of implementation. So we need your contribution in this policy dialogue in order to have very concrete recommendations to be given to different partners. Yeah, I think I can stop here saying you are all welcome, and thank you for attending this policy dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was informed in the room we have people from cooperatives who might not be easy to follow discussions in English, but we will make sure we translate the key message from speakers. Nabambwiye ko ari abavandimwe baturutse mu makoperative y'abahinzi, turabashimira ko mwitabiriye, mwakoze bino biganiro, namwe mufite uruhare runini cyane kuko imbuto n'imboga kugira ngo ziboneke zicuruzwe cyangwa zijyanwe mu mahanga ziba zahereye ku muhinzi mu murima. Mwiyumvemo ikaze kuba mwaje. Uyu muyobozi umaze kuvuga n'umuyobozi mukuru wa IPRN yatanze ikaze kuri twese, yibutsa ko IPRN ari ikigo cy'abashakashatsi ndetse gihana urubuga ibiganiro bigamije guteza imbere za politiki. Uyu munsi rero twahuye tuganira cyane cyane ku buhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto, ingamba zafatwa kugira ngo umugore arusheho kugira uruhare cyangwa se kubona inyungu muri ubwo buhinzi. Tuzi twese ko abahinzi, abagore bafite uruhare runini cyane mu gukora ubuhinzi no gutunganya umusaruro ukomoka ku mboga n'imbuto. Uyu munsi turaganira se haba hari imbogamizi zihariye abagore bahura nazo, hakorwa iki mbese ngo umugore abashe kubenefita cyangwa kubona inyungu zimbitse muri ubwo buhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto. Rero nta byinshi yavuze, yaduhaga ikaze, tugiye kwakira n'umuyobozi w'undi Oxfam nawe akomeze atugezaho ijambo riteguriye. Welcome.
Aramutseho. Protocol iranyemerera nkore ikintu kidasanzwe kuko ijambo ngiye kuvuga ndarivugira institution enye. Shaka guhamagara abazihagarariye ngo baze duhagarare hano. Executive Secretary wa Dutera Imbere, Executive Secretary or Representative of COCOF, Executive Secretary or Representative of Duhami Kadri. Murakoze cyane kwemera ko baza kuko hano duhagarariye abahinzi. Uyu munsi turavuga ubuhinzi, aba nibo bakorana n'abahinzi buri munsi. Akoze kwemera kunkikiza. Dear government representative representing the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, dear development partners in strengthening horticulture value chain in Rwanda, dear implementing partners here with me, dear actors involved in the value chain from farming to farmers to aggregators, processors, buyers, and others that work with us, dear beneficiaries representative, mwe mwahagarariye abahinzi muri inama, dear colleagues from Oxfam, dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this policy dialogue. We are discussing today the role of women in horticulture value chain. It is a great pleasure for us as Oxfam and our implementing partners to be here. Some of you know that Oxfam decided to leave Rwanda gradually since May 2020. That's why I decided to be with our partners here, because they are taking over progressively from us. And they are empowered. They will stay here, continue to work with EPRN and you all to organize such a policy dialogue, to discuss key policies, to discuss gaps in policies, and to work together to fill those gaps. Women's participation in horticulture value chain is not just an economic issue, it is a matter of social justice, gender equality, and sustainable development. Women play a vital role in the horticulture sector, from farming to production, distribution, and marketing. Their contribution is essential in ensuring food security, alleviating poverty, and fostering economic growth. In June this year, the world celebrated 20 years of Maputo Protocol. We all know that Maputo Protocol, Malabo Declaration, have great commitment of our government in agriculture value chain. Oxfam worked with our partners to launch a briefing paper during Women Deliver on harnessing the potential of African women in agriculture to meet the continent and our government of Rwanda growing demand for food. The Rwandan food system have been affected by serious crises. We all know COVID-19 pandemic, the Russo-Ukraine war, and extreme weather event resulting in climate change. These have resulted in a loss of employment, climate stress, and economic instability. And all these play a big role in affecting negatively our agriculture. Even with the Maputo Protocol 20 years, we still have serious crises threatening women's agriculture development. We need all to work together to unlock the potential of horticulture value chain, and Oxfam work with these partners here to ensure that women play a great role in horticulture value chain in the 4 districts of Rwanda, Rulindo, where the Hamikadri is investing in the value chain and the floriculture, in Nyagatare, where Duterimbere is investing in tomato growing and eggplants and others. And Kokofu is investing in Kamonyi and Nyamagabe district on value chain and others. Those farmers are playing a big role, as we said, but issues are still many. We need all to invest more in climate finance, all of us here. We all need to help our government to meet Malabo and CADAP declaration, Comprehensive African Agriculture Development Program targets. We all need to work together to achieve this. And thank you, Naeb, Minagri, and other stakeholders who challenge us to help them to meet those commitments. The role of women is crucial, as I said, to achieve government targets in horticulture value chain. However, we all know that barriers handling women's efforts are huge. Today, we gather here to engage in a meaningful dialogue, to share knowledge, and explore strategies to address the challenges and opportunities faced by women in horticulture value chain. We aim to enhance our government in the efforts to help those women. We meet to improve, to work together to find strategies to improve and contribute to overall well-being of our communities and nation. But we meet not only to identify obstacles, but also to work together to develop practical solutions and to advocate for proper policies. I encourage everyone to actively participate in today's discussion, share your insights, and collaborate with one another to develop recommendations that can be translated into actionable policies. Let's work together to create a horticulture sector that values and promotes the role of women, their rights and their potential. A round of applause to our partners here who have been working with us since almost 4 years in a new project, but some of them have been working with Oxfam more than 15 years. For example, we have Duterimbere here, that was supported in the formation by Oxfam. Please applaud for all our partners, and thank you very much.
Another round of applause to thank you. Immaculée byavuze yatangiye avuga ko uyu mushinga Oxfam irawukora ariko ikoranye n'ibigo nk'uko twabivuze duhami Kadri Kokofu na Duterimbere barayahamagaye imbere n'abayobozi b'iyo miryango yindi, hanyuma akaba yavuga mu izina ryabo, nawe yatanze ikaze kuri twese. Ariko mu by'ukuri agenda yibutsa ko uruhare rw'umugore mu buhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto ari ingenzi, Ikindi avuga yuko nubwo ari ingenzi gutyo ariko abagore bafite by'umwihariko imbogamizi bahura nazo. Yavuze imbogamizi rusange ubuhinzi bwahuye nabwo harimo intambara zo muri Ukraine, imihindagurikire y'ikirere, imyuzure, uruzuba n'ibindi, ariko avuga ko ashobora kuba hari muri zindi mbogamizi nk'abadamu bahura nazo cyangwa n'andi mahirwe ahari batageza umusaruro uko bikwiye. Yibutsa rero ko uyu munsi intego y'iyo nama ari ukurebera hamwe izo mbogamizi n'izihe, hakorwa iki kugira ngo mu by'ukuri muri rusange ubuhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto butezwe imbere, ariko by'umwihariko imbogamizi abadamu bahura nazo zibe zashakirwa umuti. Rero yasoje ashimira ibigo bakorana dutera imbere duhamikadiriraho ko uruhare bagenda bagira mu turere tune uko yabivuze, hanyuma atwifuriza inama nziza. Murakoze cyane, mumfashe duhe ikaze uhagarariye Minister wa Agriculture Sandrine, the guest of honor, to give the opening remarks.
Thank you, Seth. Mwaramutse neza. Nanjye ubwo muranyihanganira ndavanga indimi, ubundi mu by'ukuri twicaye nahoze ndeba ukuntu twicaye nkabona twese turi Abanyarwanda, niba ntibeshye wenda cyangwa turabirabura, so tujye duha agaciro n'ururimi rwacu. Nashimye kandi Seth ko yabihinduye. Ubwo ndavuga mu cyongereza urasobanura, ariko biba byiza iyo abantu bose bibonye mu kiganiro. So good morning once again, and thank you so much for this time. Country representative of Oxfam in Rwanda, chairperson of APRN, representative from government institutions, delegates from NGO and other development partners, delegates from private sector, horticulture exporters, farmers and SMEs here present, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources, it is my pleasure to participate in this policy dialogue organized by Oxfam and partners to discuss the critical pathways to enable women participation in horticulture value chains. Appreciation goes to Oxfam and its implementing partners, such as COCOF, Doamikadri, Duterimbere NGO, and other strategic partners for this very great initiative. Though the agriculture sector is the main employer in Rwanda, leveraging efforts need to be exponential to not only feed our people, but also ensure quality contribution of women and men in all stages of agriculture. So the realization of Rwanda's agriculture production, productivity, and export ambitions are dependent on the success of horticulture industry, where the country aims to increase its export value between the 23 million that we used to pass in 2017-2018 up to 205 million in next year, 24-25. Ladies and gentlemen, in agriculture settings, women are often not visible while they do a large part of the farm activities. Moreover, it's well documented that women-owned rural businesses tend to face many more constraints and receive far fewer services and support than those owned by men, as mentioned by our Oxfam country representative earlier. So even though the pace of women participation in horticulture value chain is still low, we need to embrace all categories of planning, all needs to leverage at opportunities and policy framework enabling to take advantage of by women to fully participate in horticulture subsector. In that regard, apart from food production, but also horticulture plays a very great role in exports, whereby NAEB, that I'm also representing today, has really focused on a number of initiatives to see how we can leverage or improve this subsector, whereby a number of activities are today deployed, advising on the development and implementing policies and strategies for developing export of horticulture products that meet international market requirements, training and the capacity development of horticulture actors, support for market access and diversification, standardization and quality control for horticulture products to meet the market requirements, and resource mobilization and financial support. Apart from that, there are also other initiatives put in place by the government in general to promote horticulture value chain, like the initiatives in production productivity, whereby since 2014, up to 2019, the government of Rwanda and development partners have invested in improving farmers' production productivity through improved seeds, crop management practices, and extension services. Initiatives, irrigation schemes also have been deployed, whereby today we are estimating about 63,084 hectares of arable land in total are equipped for irrigation. Several schemes have been created and expanded to various regions to boost productivity. Among other projects, we can mention also the project called CDAT, which is now currently ongoing and is aiming at increasing the area under irrigation. Logistics and handling, we can mention few of the initiatives such as NAEB deployed, whereby now today the government has also invested in airlines that continue to from the production level up to the exports. There are also some, despite this progress that we've made, there are still some challenges that we need to, as all together, to tackle. And we still need to really work on these challenges, such as expensive inputs and variability in available seed locally. This is really underscored in horticulture, because 100% of seeds that we are using in horticulture are being imported today. Inadequate system to capture production plants by commodities. This is that horticulture is a very wide sector, whereby we are dealing with a number of value chains that have different setups, different production systems. So this is still a challenge that all of us as players need to work on. High post-harvest losses. This is also another key challenge that we still facing in horticulture. Forward to overcome these challenges. The Ministry of Agriculture, again, and NAEB, we continue to ensure the required policy to support, in particular, women and youth to participate equally in horticulture value chain at all stages. I wish you fruitful dialogue and overall participation. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you, CO. We want to, before we have a presentation, as we are still with the COO, we want to invite you to a photo, group photo. I don't know, cameraman will guide me, but before that one, I want to summarize what she said. Ku bantu wenda batumvaga ibyo bavuga cyane, uyu nguyu ni umuyobozi mukuru wungirije muri NAEB, ahagarariye nyakubahwa minisita w'ubuhinzi. Yavuze rero yuko icyo yakomeje ntabwo kiri kuri ibyo abandi bavuze, yagaragaje cyane ko horticulture, ubuhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto, ari kimwe mu by'ukuri mu bigira mu nkingi kwakira imbogamizi n'ibibazo, ariko avuga ko arashimira Oxfam n'abandi bafatanyabikorwa kuba bagira uruhare. Imbogamizi yavuze ni ukuba kugera ku mbuto cyangwa umusaruro hakirimo ibibazo, n'ibisa nkaho value chain uruhererekane naryo hakirimo ibibazo, ariko ashimira Oxfam n'abandi bakorana kuba baratanze uwo musanzu. Akaba wizera ko uno munsi byo turuganire biri bitanga inama ndetse n'icyerekezo hakorwa iki kugira ngo izo strategies, izo ngamba za leta zo guteza imbere ubuhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto kugira ngo butezwe imbere by'umwihariko. Turamushimira rero, ntabwo mbashe kubivuga byose, ariko mu ncamake yashimiraga twitabiriye bino biganiro, ariko anagaragaza ko leta y'u Rwanda iha agaciro cyane ubuhinzi bw'imboga n'imbuto kuko bifite uruhare cyangwa se nk'igihe mwamba mu buhinzi muri rusange nk'igihugu cyacu. Mumfashe rero muze, sinzi niba twakwirwa mu ifoto, ndabona turenga nk'ijana, ariko wenda bamwe turashimira Vice Mayor Nyamagabe nawe arahageze, karibu sana. Hanyuma twagira ngo dusabe abantu bashobora kujoininga mu ifoto. sinzi niba twakwirwamo twese umuntu wangira inama photographe ubibona twajyamo twese group photo cyangwa baki, how can we do it? Pane group photo ntago bane mbyemera no mu technicien nawe da is okay kadufata murakoze cyane. Reka nsabe banyakubahwa baze kutugezaho opening remarks kwisubirira mu byicaro byabo. Bagiriye inama ko twafata Sandrine aracyari kumwe natwe, turaza gufata ifoto nyuma. You can go back to your seats so that we can have the first presentation by Godfrey. Noneho niturangiza gufata presentation, we will have a group photo as we are going for tea break. Turaza kwamaza no kubona uko tifata iyo foto neza, ariko reka tunaze kwakira iyo presentation ya mbere. Nkuko nabivuze dutangira, the presentation will be on experience from literature on women participation in horticulture value chain in Rwanda. Namara ku presenta, we will have someone, Marisiana twaramutumiye ndibaza ko yahageze. Okay, uyu mudamu aratugezaho nka testimony, life story, imbogamizi nuko agenda abona horticulture nk'umugore, nk'uhagarariye abagore bari muri no nama. Nyuma turaza gufungura urubuga rw'ibibazo n'ibitekerezo. So reka mpikaze upresenta none hakomeze na presentation. IT mudufashe kugira ngo tubone. Ikindi ni ufite abantu mukorana basigaye yo wenda gukorera bakurikira ibiganiro, hari link twakoze. We have people who are following this discussion online. So if you think colleagues at your work, you want to share with them what's going on, ushobora kwaka the IT team secretariat link ukayohereza kuri WhatsApp. We have people bari kudukurikirana. People online, whoever has a question, you can post it under chat box or you send through, you raise the hand, twaguha ijambo kaza kuvuga umwanya w'ibibazo. Abadukurikiye online turaza kubaha umwanya ni yagira ufite igitekerezo ashaka kutugezaho. IT mudufashe, PowerPoint ntago iri ku screen ntago ari on. sorry with us IT problems, but now we have the doctor of the projectors who will help us. Colleagues online, sorry, we are apologizing because of the IT, but we are connecting now, we are resuming. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for for being with us today. My name is Godfrey Gakwandi. I work for Oxfam here in Rwanda, and I'm in charge of the agriculture. So I want to take you through the some of our experiences on horticulture and women. But before we dive into the presentation, as you know, we are talking about horticulture and women. So we need to have a look at some of the quotes of what some people say about, women economic empowerment. You can see the first quote was from the former UN Secretary General, where he said that removing the barrier that keeps women and girls on the margins of economic and social, cultural and political life must be a top priority for us all, businesses, governments, and the United Nations and civil society. Then the former Danish Minister for Development also said that everyone, regardless of gender, should be given equal opportunity in all spheres of life. And he believed that gender equality is an integral part of the modern and diverse society, as well as the precondition for sustainable development. Our president, His Excellency the President, also said that gender equality in every sector is not a favor. It is your right, and it is the way it should be. The right to equality is not something that can be given or taken. So that the emphasis of the major, of the leaders, when they talk about the women, women's equality in general. So we, again, when you look at the women in the agriculture sector, you can see that they really play a vital role, not only in our country, but also globally. They play a vital role in terms of the agricultural labor force in Africa. You can see the percentage. You can see their role in the economic development of the countries in the region. When you look at the sub-Saharan Africa, where we belong, the region where we belong, the role of the women in horticulture, agriculture, is not something that we should doubt. I just picked some of the reports that talks about women in agriculture in the region, sub-Saharan Africa. When you come to Rwanda, looking at the sector itself in Rwanda, and the role of the women, and the contribution of the agricultural sector itself in the economic development of our country, and the labor force that actually the agriculture provide, the 70%. When you look at the income, the GDP contribution, agricultural sector contribution, the GDP is definitely massive in terms of the percentage. So when you look at the employment, you can see 62%, 62.3%, the total employment is being provided by agriculture sector. 71% of those in agriculture sector, I mean the sector itself employs 71% women. If you look at the women, the contribution of women, of course, again, it's not something doubtable. Gender is really, women are really visible in this sector. If you look at Oxfam, if I go into Oxfam very quickly, as you may know, Oxfam is a women-centered organization working globally to end poverty and inequality. And we believe that the potential of the lasting change lies in the hands of millions of women currently living in poverty. If you look at the sector contribution again, you see the recent census where we saw that our population is growing so rapidly, at currently standing at 13 million, over 13 million, 51.5% being women. When you look at the employment, 69%, the census that was published last year, 69% of the Rwandan are employed in agricultural sector. Again, 71% women are employed. When you look at the horticulture exports, 50% of exports are coming from horticulture, including the non-traditional commodities, which is the coffee and tea. If you look at this specific project that actually is financed this, the Sustainable Horticulture Value Chain, as a project that was funded by EU, starting from 2020 to 2024, actually ending it next year. I think the country representative Oxfam mentioned about it, and being implemented by Oxfam in consortium of 3 implementing agencies, Duhamika, Dri, Kokov, and Duterimbere. This is a project that has been working, implemented in the 4 different districts of our country, and promoting different value chains. One of the districts in Nyagatare, Kamonyi, Nyamagabe, and Rulindo. The project is actually promoting the 9 value chains. You can see we have tomatoes, French beans, we have avocado, pineapples, we have chili, we have passion fruits, we have onion, including garlic, and eggplants. So the purpose of our meeting today, when we look at the journey from 2020, where we've been working, we had seen that quite a number of people across the value chain stages, women are really active participants in this project, and they have contributed quite significantly across this sector, from the production to aggregation to primary processing and storage, secondary processing, distribution, packaging and handling, and then market. But when you look at the project reports that the data we managed to collect from the project sites, you will see from the figures, 54.4% women are more visible at the production stage of all the value chain I have mentioned. When it goes to aggregation, the number keeps reducing to 14.2. And those are the data that we collected from the 4 project sites that we are working in. When you go to primary processing and storage, the number again of women participation, the participation of women keeps reducing again to 32%. When you move to secondary processing, 29% women are visible. Then 37%, they are participating in distribution, packaging, and handling. When it comes to markets, those who are, participating in exports of the horticultural commodities, we see 35% of women. So we believe probably something is not working so well. Idea they should be equally participating as men across all the stages of the value chain. And this meeting today, we believe we will be able to share experiences. I've seen a lot of many of the actors in the value chain that could also share with us if our reports from the field are accurate or not. Because ideally, women should be equally participating as men across all the value chains stages. We also believe that there are so many opportunities for women in the horticulture value chain. If you see it from the economic empowerment point of view, horticulture provides women with opportunities to generate income and thereby contribute to their economic empowerment and reducing poverty. So if they really participate across all the value chain stages, they will be empowered economically and they will be able to solve some of the they'll be able to get the income, increase their income, and also reducing poverty. Then if they also participate, there's a nutrition and food security benefit that we think women can also, if they actively participate across all the value chain stages, women can play a significant role in household food production and enhance nutrition and food security at the family level. They can also have the aspect of market access. As you know, horticulture provides women, as horticulture value chain develop, women have increased access to market, which can improve their income and livelihood as well. Then skills and capacity building is something that we also can offer women to enhance their skills and productivity and income. Then entrepreneurship, women can engage in various entrepreneurship skill activities within horticulture and such as agro-processing, value addition, and running small business. Again, from our experience, we have seen some challenges that we thought we can share with you. One of the challenges is the limited access to resources. Women often face barriers in accessing resources such as land. Although we know that our land policy does not discriminate women, but the decision on land for women can be tricky, and this can, affect women's, participation, fully participation in in horticulture. Then the time constraint, balancing horticulture with the household chores and child care can be challenging for women and leading to time constraint. Another challenge is market barrier. Women may encounter obstacles like lack of transportation, market infrastructure, which can affect their ability to access market and get fair price for their products. We've seen at the export level, they are at 35, but we believe they can do better and also participate to a level of 50 or 60. Then gender-based violence. Gender-based violence and harassment can hinder women's participation in horticulture value chain. Social norms and discrimination. We know we have good policies in Rwanda, that promote women and discourage gender-based violence. But this is something that also a challenge that hinder women's full participation in the horticulture value chain. Then we also propose some actions. One of them is, of course, the Women Economic Empowerment program that focus on skills development, entrepreneur, and leadership. We are working with a lot of the horticulture farming cooperatives. But when you look at the leadership of women, those cooperatives, again, we've seen in our data, they're at 41%. And when it comes to production, again, as I mentioned, at the production level, they are doing so well. But again, at the leadership level, in the cooperatives, is also challenging for them. Gender mainstreaming in the extension service, I think the CEO has mentioned some bit of it, of the challenge within the horticulture value chain sector, including the access to inputs. So we believe that women, if they services that ensure extension services and gender-sensitive approach with female extension agents to cater the unique needs and preferences of women in horticulture. Then we also propose that there should be a comprehensive study that can provide evidence of women participation in horticulture in Rwanda that can be based on actually when they are formulating the appropriate policies that supports women. Then the capacity building and training is also an action that we propose here, designed for women in horticulture and covering crop management, pest controls, and even post-harvest handling and business skills. Then the last proposed action is market access and value chain integration. We believe that if we develop policy that facilitate women's access to market, creating linkages with buyers, processors, exporters, then support formation of women's horticulture cooperatives and associations to strengthen their bargaining power could be also be helpful. So those are the proposals that we thought we can propose to this meeting with the actors here present to digest and then maybe come up with the common ground moving forward for women to ensure that women are active participants in the whole value chain stages. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Godfrey, for the presentation. Ntago mbisobanura byose, ni umushinga yagaragazaga ibyo bakoze, ariko mu by'ukuri ntago nasobanura PowerPoint yose kuko twavuze ko hari undi ugiye kuza asa nko complimentinga w'umudamu atanga ubuhamya nka life story, tugiye kumwakira none namara kuvuga tubone gufungura the floor. Marisiana waza ku minota mike ukagira uko tubwira life story yawe, noneho nyuma turakira ibibazo. Mumfashe kongera dushimire Godfrey kuri presentation nziza dukoreye. Thank you very much. Mikrofone mwongerejweho gake cyane.
Murakoze. Amazina yanjye nkuko bababwiye nitwa Uwamwezi Mesiana, hanturuka mu karere ka Nyagatare. Mbere na mbere ndashimira abangiriye icyizere ko nshobora guhagarara hano, ndabashimiye. Nongeye gushimira ubuyobozi bwaduhurije hano muri rusange, abayobozi mwese ndabashimiye. Irango ndi buvuge hano ku bintu bine. Icyambere ni urugendo uburyo natangiye, icya kabiri naho ngeze ubu, akamaro kuri jye no ku bandi, n'imbogamizi. Ngira ngo urugendo rwanjye ni rurerure kuruvuga mu minota 5 cyangwa 3 ntago byoroshye, ndi buvuge mu ncamake gusa aho muri bugumve hari icyo mwari mukeneye kumva mutumvise muze kumbaza. Murakoze. Je ubundi natangiye tumudamu wa mikoro makeya w'umuhinzi, nahingaga imbuto nka jaride kuko nakundaga ibintu by'imbuto cyane. Hanyuma muri ubwo buhinzi bwanjye butoya buciriritse naje guhura na Dutera Imbere na Oxfam, bamfasha muri urwo rugendo. Muri urwo rugendo barampuguye uburyo bwo gushinga no gucunga nshore nunguke, n'uburyo bwo kuba rwiyemeza mirimo. Twiga ayo mahame, baraduhugura, batujyana ahantu i Butare mu ngendo shuri ahantu hatandukanye. Dushobora kwiga gutubura ingemwe z'inanasi kuko niho twari twerekeje, ni naho nerekeje, nibyo bintu nashakaga gukora, nibwo buhinzi nari mfite. Nza gushobora kumenya gutubura ingemwe zivuye mu isunzu. Urugemwe isunzu rimwe tukarikuramo ingemwe 20. Dushobora koroza abahinzi barahinga. Muri ibyo tumaze guhinga, muri urwo rugendo duhinga, twaje kubona inanasi nyinshi ku buso bwinshi, amakoperative menshi, kandi by'umwihariko badufashije guhinga uburyo bw'umwimerere. Nyuma y'ibyo tumaze kubona umusaruro utangiye gupfa ubusa, nibwo haje igitekerezo cyo gushinga uruganda rwo gutunganya wa musaruro uva mu bahinzi kugira ngo udashobora kwangirika. Urwo ni rwo rugendo natangiye. Aho ngeze ubu ngubu, kubera iminota mikeya ntago ndi buvuge byinshi. Aho ngeze ubu ngubu maze kugira uruganda ruciriritse rutunganya umusaruro ukomoka ku mbuto n'imboga. Twumisha imboga, imbuto nk'inanasi, amamembe, imbuto zose zishobora kumishwa turazumisha. Dukoramo za juice, jam na wine z'ubwoko butandukanye. Uruganda rwanjye ubu ngubu aho rugeze, tugeze uruganda ruhagaze hafi y'agaciro ka miliyoni nk'ijana. Aho ngaho niho rugeze. Rufite ibikoresho bihagije, ntibihagije cyane ariko ku rwego aho ngeze ibikoresho mfite maze kugera ku buziranenge, product zanjye zose zifite ubuziranenge, rwemewe muri FDA. Muri urwo rugendo rwo gushaka ibyangombwa by'ubuziranenge no kwemerwa muri FDA, urwo rugendo narufashijwemo na Dutera Imbere NGO na Oxfam. Mu by'ukuri urwo rugendo rwari rukomeye cyane, rwari rukaze, ariko ndabashimira by'umwihariko ko mwamfashije kubigeraho. Ku bwanjye jyenyine sinari ndi bubishobore. Akamaro rero bimaze kungezaho ku bwanjye ku giti cyanjye, ndi umugore ubu ngubu ubarwa mu bagore bishoboye. Ako ni akamaro ka mbere. Akamaro ka kabiri nuko nashoboye kwigisha abana banjye, bose bariga, nabo nareraga bariga. Ubu ngubu ndashobora kubona icyo nshaka. Akandi kamaro wenda ku bandi bantu, ubu ngubu muri kampani yanjye leta yangiriye icyizere, ishobora kumpa abanyeshuri nkabigisha bakanagaraduwetinga bakabona impamyabumenyi ya WGA. Akandi abanyeshuri bavuye mu TVET school barabanzanira nkabakoresha stage. Ako ni akamaro ku rubyiruko, ku bagore, ako ni akamaro ku bandi bantu. Hanyuma no ku bijyanye n'abakozi, uruganda rwanjye rufite ubushobozi bwo kuba rwakoresha abakozi bagera muri 50, ariko ntibirashoboka neza kubera ibyo ndibabwire wenda mbere nyuma. Ariko ubu rufite abakozi rukoresha, rufite abakozi 10 n'abandi bakora nyakabyizi. Abo bose bashobora gutunga imiryango yabo, kandi kampani yabarinze ubushomeri. Iyi kampani ifite amasezerano n'ayo makoperative kubigurira imbuto, nitwe soko ryabo. Ubu ntirashobora kugerwaho neza kubera urugendo rurerure twakoze mu gushaka ibyangombwa, bituma igishoro kiba gikeya. Ubu rero turimo gushaka hirya no hino aho twabona igishoro kugira ngo dutangire neza. Muri ibyo rero hari ikintu nasimbutse gato, nabonye isoko ryo kugemura hanze, ngira ngo ryari butangire muri uku kwezi kwa 9 gushize. Ntago nashoboye kuritangira neza kuko habaye imbogamizi y'ubushobozi butahagije cyane kugira ngo nshobore kuritangira, ariko ndarifite, ndateganya kuritangira muri iyi minsi iza, imbaraga ziraza kuboneka. Ngira ngo ikindi navuga muri izo mbogamizi, ni imbogamizi zijyanye n'uburyo bwa marketing. Ntago ndashobora kugera kuri marketing neza kugira ngo ibintu byanjye bijye ku mugaragaro ahantu hose bashobore kubibona, ariko nabyo birimo birategurwa. Ngira ngo icyanyuma nasoza nshimira mwese abagize icyo bakora kugira ngo nshobore kugera kuri uru rwego. Ndabashimiye cyane Dutera Imbere NGO, Oxfam n'abandi bose bashoboye kubikora, kuko si jye wabikoze jyenyine. Murakoze cyane, Imana ibahumugishe.
arakoze cyane Marciana. Rero kubera impamvu z'igihe umuntu ufite ikibazo nizera ko yacyanditse kuri presentation Godfrey yakoze, and maybe wabaza Marciana, we can take 2 or 3 burning questions kuri presentation, then we have the first panel discussion. Do we have someone with like a question on the presentation made by Godfrey, maybe a burning question, before we take the panel discussion? Quick question? A question? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. My question goes to Marciana, actually. Yes. Murakoze cyane. Ikibazo cyane nitwa Lidivine, nagira ngo mbaze Marciana, ufite successful story of change rwose, iri interesting. Ikibazo cyanjye watubwiye yuko watangiye uri umu small holder farmer ukorera muri jardin yawe iwawe, hanyuma ukaza kuba developed, ukabasha kugira uruganda, ubu noneho ukaba unakora export. Nagize amatsiko, ese byagufasha ikihe gihe, ni iki mu by'ukuri cyatumye ukomeza sucika intege? Watubwiye kuri training wahawe na field visit, ariko nagira ngo nanone dusobanure neza ese n'abandi bashaka kugera muri icyo gihe kuri urwo rwego ugezeho watubwira iki? Murakoze.
Murakoze cyane. Iyi table kishaka monopoliza.
Murakoze. Nitwa Dalbert Rukebanuka, ndi Director General muri Ministeri ishinzwe ibikorwa by'ubutabazi Minema. Nabashimiye kuba mwanadutumiye. Ndashaka kunganira mugenzi wacu wavuze kuri challenges. Ntushobora kuvuga challenges ngo wibagirwe disaster. Ibiza bya affecta ubuhinzi cyane bw'imbuto n'imboga, twabonye mostly bikorwa n'abagore. Ndabaha urugero ruto. Ku ijoro ry'itariki 2 igana ku itariki 3 z'ukwa gatanu no mwaka twahuye n'ibiza mu gihugu, aho sector ya agriculture iryo joro one single night yagize loss igera kuri miliyari 5 n'ibice 4. Mu buhinzi gusa hagiye twatakaje hafi miliyari 5 n'ibice 4. Ibyinshi mu byangiritse ni harimo imboga n'imbuto, kuko murabizi bihingwa mu downstream mu kabandi ahenshi. So muri nashaka rero kubigarukaho, aho abagore amubangirikiwe n'ibyo bintu, abagore baragera ku bihumbi 11,100. Nicyo assessment yakozwe nyuma ya disaster nibyo yagaragaje. Numvaga rero nshaka kugaruka muri challenges yagaragaje iyo yabuzemo, ariko icyabikemura as we are discussing on policy harimo mitigation, no kuvuga gutunganya neza hahingwa ku buryo igihe habaye floods n'ibindi abantu batakangirikirwa cyane, ariko hari no gutekereza kuri risk transfer, insurance. Haba habaye floods, haba habaye drought, hakaba habaho kwirinda. Ariko n'igihe byageze mu nganda, izo nganda zo ziri protected gute ku buryo nazo zidashobora kuba guhura zigashya, wa musaruro ugahiramo n'ibindi nk'ibyo. Tugomba no gutekereza iyo value chain yose, gutekereza kuri resilience na disaster management, ku buryo abantu bataba bakoze neza ibyo bagomba gukora ariko bikaba affected by disasters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mwakoze. Twafata ikindi kibazo kimwe bwo kurwanda n'igihe mwihangana iyo table kugira ngo tujye no kwindi table. One person per table maybe. Okay. You mention your name and the organization you represent.
Murakoze. Nitwa Sentaro Jean Marie Vianney. Nturuka muri Akoro. Ndahuza ibitekerezo by'abantu babiri, umuhinzi watuganirije Marciana ndetse n'uriya muyobozi ukora muri Ministeri y'Ubutabazi. Icyambere wenda nshaka kuvuga ni abadamu bakora ubuhinzi mu mahirwe batubwiye cyangwa se opportunities batubwiyemo nutrition and food security, navuga nk'imirire myiza no kwihaza, arishwe kurya imbuto n'imboga, bigishwe kurya imirire myiza, kuko food security ntabwo ari ukujyana ku isoko gusa cyangwa kohereza mu mahanga. Icyo nsozerezaho noneho, uriya muyobozi avuze resilience to climate change cyangwa se kuri disasters, ni ikintu cyiza cyane. Mesiana nawe yigeze kuvuga ngo batwigishije ubuhinzi bw'umwimerere, uretse n'ubwo buryo bwo kurinda ibiza, hari icyo bita agroecology, ubuhinzi bubungabunga ubutaka n'urusobe rw'ibinyabuzima. Ese koko ubuhinzi dukora duhinga imboga, ubuhinzi dukora duhinga imbuto, umuhanga Einstein yaravuze ngo izi nzuki mureba buriya nizo zigize ubuzima, nizo ziduha umwuka. Gute? Through the cross pollination. Kubera iyo ibangurira ry'ibihingwa, igihingwa kitariho ntago twahumeka. Ngira ngo sininjira muri za science za photosynthese n'ibindi, ariko ni ukuvuga ngo uko tutaba resilient ngo dukora ubuhinzi bubungabunga burimo bufata ingamba kuri climate change, n'ibyo ngibyo niduhinga imboga mu kajagari n'ubundi tuzaba dukorera ku busa. Numva rero twaza kubihuza tugafata hano inshingano zo kwigisha abadamu ko bigisha umuryango kurya neza, tugafata n'uburyo twahinga kandi tubungabunga ibidukikije n'urusobe rw'ibinyabuzima. Murakoze
cyane. So ndumva nta bibazo mwabajije, ni contribution kandi tubashimira. There are no questions mostly apart from the first speaker who asked the question to Marisiana. Ikibazo gusa mubajije wacyumvishe Marisiana, ariko abandi numvishe contribution not questions. Tunabashimira ku contributions mwakoze. Rero kubera ko tugifite umwanya wa panel discussions kandi biri linked, mushatse mwe kumara ibibazo mutaza ko ari cyo mubaza nyuma, mwe mubibitse mubizigame, sibyo? Ariko katwumve Marisia, twumve one question there after her. Sorry?
It's a comment, not a question.
It's a comment. After the comment, turahija Marisia navuge ku kibazo bamubajije, munyemerere twakire pano ya mbere, turaza kwakira ibibazo nyuma y'iyo panel discussion. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sabina Pobeni. I'm representing the Nigerian High Commission. First of all, I want to thank all the presenters because this topic is one that is quite dear to myself as a woman, and I believe the world entirely. I haven't listened to the presentation, particularly the PowerPoint. One can say that the low participation of women in the advanced stages of the value chain can be directly linked perhaps to lower education, poor education among women, and then the lack of skilled training. Because most times when a woman wants to seek employment and she's not so well educated, the first point of call is to go into agriculture, farming the fields and all that. So I believe one way to bridge the gap between the participation of men and women in the higher value chain is to focus on policies that enhance the better education for women, ensure that girls finish their education, not just finishing the primary stage and then going into something else, but going higher, and then looking for ways to give women skilled training when it comes to production, when it comes to market, and then the, what is it called, all the other advanced stages in the horticultural value chain. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the contribution. And I think the note is taken by the Secretariat. So Marisiana, ujye kusubiza ikibazo yakubajije minota mike none twakire tuye mu wundi mwanya.
Murakoze, ngira ngo mbajije ku kibazo ngo nkibyibuka byose ngo ese ibi nabigezeho nti ko wasubiriramo nkumva neza igihe byamfashe. Okay.
Murakoze cyane, nakubazaga igihe byagufashe kugira ngo ugere kuri iyo successful story yo kugera ubu ngubu kuba uri ku exportinga kandi warahereye muri jardin uri umu small holder, nicyo watubwira abandi babyifuza.
Murakoze ku kibazo cyiza mbajije. Uko nabigezeho, uko aho natangiriye igihe byamfashe, natangiye muri 2019 mpinga ako karima. Muri 2013 nibwo nafunguye kampani. 2013 nafashe urwo rugendo hamwe n'abajyanama banjye bari bamperekeje. Habayemo ibintu byinshi muri iyo myaka, urumva ko byabaye byinshi nta kuvugira nonaha, ariko icyamfashije ni inama n'amahugurwa nabonye yo kuba rwiyemezamirimo no gushinga no gucunga nshore n'unguke. Iyo niyo yabaye inkingi yanegamiye, kuko ibyo banyigishije byose numvaga biri mu mutwe wanjye. Kandi ikindi cyamfashije ni ukudacika intege. Banyigishije ko rwiyemezamirimo atacika intege, ahubwo igihombo kivamo kimubera isomo. Igihombo nagiraga cyamaga irindi somo, kikampa imbaraga zo kongera gukomeza. Kuko hari aho nageze ndubaka uruganda, maze kubona imashini ishobora kudurayinga toni imwe n'ibiro 200, binsaba kubaka izindi nyubako. Ntangiye kuzubaka maze gusakara iragwa ibiza biransenyera, nkuko uriya muyobozi yabivugaga, biransenyera. Ariko ntago byanciye intege, byantwaye igihe kongera guhaguruka, ariko ntibyanciye intege, narakomeje. Andi mahugurwa nabonye yo gukora ibingibi bya drying, bya processing, nabikoze mbikunze. Icyo nicyo cya mbere. Yewe ubundi ingeso yanjye ngira muri kamere yanjye, iyo nemeye gukora ikintu nkatera intambwe nkinjiramo simvamo, ndahatana mpaka ku munota wa nyuma. Icyo rero nicyo cyamfashije kuba ngeze hano. Amahugurwa, kwiyemeza no kumva inama z'abangira inama, kandi n'ubufasha inyuma bumperekeje. Murakoze. Sinzi niba
murakoze cyane, oya birasobanutse, twamushimira. Uko biri kose Ntore ntiganya, ahereye kuri bike agera kuri byinshi uko bivuze, ariko turacyari kumwe no muri tea break, bakomeza ukamwegera ukamubaza niba ushaka more testimonies. Thank you very much. Turacyabana abandi bashyitsi, karibu Dative from Minicom n'abandi bashyitsi mwakomeza kugenda muza. I want to welcome the panelists to join me here forward. We want to be sure if you have Rukundo from PSF. Mr. Rukundo? Okay, karibu sana, please forward. Profam twese hamwe, a speaker from Profam twese hamwe is here in the room with us. Yes, karibu sana, please. And Annonciata from Bright Harvest Limited. Ngamwe hageze to joining, please. All right. Yes. So kubusabe bwa benshi twagize no event ngimara munsi wose wenda kubakererewe, ariko abasabe bwa benshi basaba ko tubisqueezinga kugira ngo bibe before lunch. Niyo mpamvu mubona nkaho mfitemo akantu hakavuduka ka speed, but we try to make sure we do it properly. It's fine. Thank you very much. So want to give the panelists some few minutes. You will gusuhuzanya mwese. Already that one. How are you? Okay. It's fine. So on this panel we have the representative of the Private Sector Federation, Chamber of Agriculture, and we have representative of Profarmers Kwese Hamwe and the Bright Harvest, represented by Anosiata Twagira ngo tunamuhereho. You can express your feelings or your thoughts or your views in Rwanda or English. As you saw, our audience is mixed, but we want to start with you, Anosiata, telling us, like someone from Anosiata, from someone from the company which does, I think you are in the flowers business. Yes, you tell us how you see that sector, women in that sector, what experience you are seeing specifically on that flower subsector. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's as they said, it's Annunciata, but most people call me Anne Karemera. I'm the MD of Bright Harvest. We grow and export summer flowers to Europe. Let me take this chance to appreciate Duamik and the Oxfam. They helped me in that journey. When they contacted me, they asked me 2 questions to talk about. Should I do that? Okay. Sorry. The question they asked me is, as a woman exporter or entrepreneur in horticulture exports, how do you assess export business? To me, this question is common to all exporters. It's not specific to the women. If you are going to assess the export business, what you have to do is, first of all, to understand the market demand. You have to research and identify high demand horticultural products in the target market. 2, quality. Quality control. You have to ensure strict quality standards in production and post-harvest handling. Then you have to do a market research. Continuously, you have to monitor market trends and adapt your product offerings accordingly. Ichindi, you have to network. Build strong relationship with the importers, distributors, and the industry association. Ichindi is compliance. You have to comply with the international trade regulations and certification. Then logistics. You have to streamline supply chain and logistics for timely delivery. Then the second question they asked me was, what do you think can be done to improve export environment, especially for women in horticulture? So to me, the first thing is training and capacity building. If it is for women, you see, women, like they were saying, that are in agriculture or are in business, they are not highly educated. Or even if she is, but she will need to be trained on what is needed to be able to export or to compete on the international market. Another thing is access to finance. We need affordable loans and financial support to female entrepreneurs. With that, I can say, like when we say this loan, or sometimes they have made it even easy, it becomes matching grant. But you know, as a woman, sometimes if you need a loan, the husband would have to sign for you. But the challenge I see is sometimes you want that loan to do that business, but if the husband is not convinced, he's not going to sign. So there, I don't know what happens. There are many women, yes, the government has put in a lot of effort to support, to empower women, to equate women to men somehow. But the man, the husband, is not going to sign for you if he's not convinced. And yet, if he brings his business for you, you would sign. So that thing is still there. I don't know how we are going to change that. Another thing is market access. facilitate participation in trade fairs, connect with international buyers. For a woman, it is still very hard. When there's, say, you have a market in Brussels or in Dubai, you have to ask for permission. Yet that man, when he has that business wherever, will just tell you, ngorera suitcase. Urajahe, ngorera suitcase. Ariko for you, you'll have to ask for that permission. It's not easy. Ichindi is gender inclusive policies. Advocate for policies that support women in export business. Actually, this is being done. These days you see calls, most calls, they are asking, you find they are giving special attention to women and people with disability. So it's good if we can continue like that. We ask the international development partners to support us in that. We need mentorship. There's someone who asked Meresiana how she got to where she is. This shows that we need mentors, we need mentorship. People who are in, for example, who have succeeded in that business, then at least they would mentor some others, or tell. There's a program on TV that says Tinyuka. That thing is very good. Like if you also had people we look up to, and we get, they mentor us. If you have succeeded, and then we go and mentor some other people who are starting the same business. But all this, you cannot.
Let's summarize, but we'll come back to you.
Okay, so there are things, limitations that women meet that are different from men. One is balancing responsibilities. You know, you do this business, but the business is being done after work. It's not done in the office. And it is very difficult for us women to be out after work. Businesses, deals are signed in the office, but they are dealt in bars and coffee shops, and it is not easy for us to do that. Limited knowledge. You see, life is daily learning process, which each day comes with a new information. So the woman is very busy with the kids, very busy. He has very many responsibilities. It's very hard to get all that information like the men do. Ichindi is authority. We lack authority. Even if we have 50-50 with the husband, if he doesn't want you to sell the house or to sell the property or to do what, you are not going to do it. So that thing is still there. I don't know how we are going to do it. I'm sorry, I think I've taken much time, but that's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for insightful, thoughts, and you are being shared with us. We'll come back again to you. Yeah, Rukundo, as someone from the private sector federation, where do you see your members who are in the horticulture business? How do you see it? Is it a viable sector? And then try to touch on, comparing how men and women are actively participating in this subsector.
Yeah. My name is Rukundo Robert. I am the chairperson, Horticulture Exporters Association of Rwanda. I am here representing the private sector federation under the Chambers of Agriculture, because we all fall under the private sector. As long as you're doing business, you're in private sector. So I was favored to come and represent the CEO and the chair, the private sector Federation. So I just wanted to make that clear. The question of whether women, if that's the question, whether women are, it's important, whether the sector is viable to invest in, I'll be honest with you. I think there is no any other sector that is viable as of today to invest in other than the horticulture sector. And I will give you reasons why. One, people are becoming sensitive on what they consume, and fruits and vegetables are the most products that try to improve the nutrition of the people who are living today. So people are tending to move away from, the myumbati, bijumba, arya kabuga, chane those who are growing old, like us. So it is important that we focus. So globally, the demand for fruits and vegetables is growing so much, and more especially, it also increased after COVID. I remember during COVID, lemon, lemon, indimu. There were not so many people were buying lemon, to be honest. But after COVID, people actually approached lemon, and it increased in terms of cost. So with these kinds of cases that have been happening, fruits and vegetables have increased. So that gives women, youth, and men, I'll mention men, so that we also encourage them, invest in horticulture because it generates more income compared to any other food crop. I'll give you a scenario. A person who cultivates maize, I'm not saying maize is bad. Please, don't report me that. It's not bad. But if I want to compare the two, a person who does maize, it takes 6 months to have the crop ready, if I'm not mistaken. And the person who does tomatoes, it takes 3 months, isn't it? So the income you generate within 6 months, if you're doing tomatoes twice on the same area, you're going to have more income compared to a person doing maize. So that's why I'm saying the sector is viable, and I would encourage everybody here, as the chairperson, to invest in the horticulture sector. Thank you.
Are there some specific issues you are seeing with the women investors, or the general? How do you see it?
I think Anne mentioned about a few of them, and there's one that she brought to my attention that I hadn't thought about, whereby it's on access to finance. Access to finance for women, I think, is still a challenge. If we have, there's this traditional and stereotype that a man is a head of a family. It is true, a man is a head of a family. But in our context, whereby we have to share, depending on what you signed, if you're sharing 50-50, you'll have to seek the permission of a man to be able to access finance to invest in the business that you want to invest in. I think that is a major challenge. And I don't know what can be done, either to reverse the law. I don't know, to be honest, when we discuss on policies, to improve policies for women to invest in horticulture, that becomes a bigger challenge. I don't know whether they will set up a fund aside for women specifically, so that they can actually access these finances without collateral, which I don't think banks will also accept, but it's a big challenge. The other thing is the stereotype that a woman is a mother, supposed to be at home, you have to take care of children. I think that also limits on their performance in the horticulture sector. As we engage, you find largely as the boss for Oxfam, I would say, mentioned that we have 69%, I think, if you mention properly, who are 71% engaged in the horticulture sector. But when you go to the rural communities, you will find a woman has 3 kids, taking care of those kids. A man left, the woman has to go to either work in the sector, but she also has to bear, to carry this child to be able to work. That becomes a challenge. On the part of the woman, there is lack of performance, either she will not be able to perform. For the business person, that is also a challenge because the output this woman is supposed to provide doesn't come out. So this becomes a challenge, and I think they have started things to do with daycare centers for these children so that we can see more women engage in the horticulture sector. I think issues of lack of capacity and areas whereby capacity in terms of accessing and negotiating, these are challenges I see women engage with in the horticulture sector.
Thank you very much, Robert. Now coming to you, Annette Mokachibibi, you come from an umbrella of women called the Quiz Hamwe, Performance Quiz Hamwe, and you are a coordinator of a project there. How do you see, based on your experience, how do you see women equally participating in the horticulture sector with men, or do you see, what areas do you see like gaps, if there are gaps about women participating in horticulture, you know, from farming, or the value chain, farming, transport, processing, and even exporting?
Yeah, thank you so much. As they have said, I'm Annette Kachibibi, not Mkachibibi. I'm the project coordinator in Profame Twese Hamwe. I coordinate a project called SERVE. It's a project that is all about strengthening, enhancing viable and viable opportunities, employment opportunities for youth, especially women. So in the Profame Twese Hamwe, we promote women's rights, peace, and peaceful family. So in doing so, in agriculture, we intervene in empowering women. So there is most of challenges at community level, as my colleague said, especially on social norms that hinder women or limit women to actively participate as their fellow men in agriculture, because most of the time we may find they have beliefs that for them they have to be involved in just production, but when it comes to the stage of selling the harvest and the other stages, you may find women are limited. The men are the ones to take over for the harvest of the production that women have already worked on. Another challenge, as they have mentioned, it's unpaid care work they have. They have a lot of work at household level. So time to spend in productive work is very limited because they have to stay at home, care for the children, for the family members. They don't have much time to spend in production work. Another thing they have is access to finance. My colleague said about it. Even though the policy is clear, women and men has the same rights on land, on properties, but the control over that land is not equal in practice. For women to take a decision over selling a land or any other property they have at home needs much conversations with the husband, and most of the time, if the husband doesn't want to take that decision, it is not taken. So as Profam, what we do, it's challenging all those social norms and negative norms that are in place by applying the journey of transformation approach for women and men. It's like men engage approach. We do a journey with couples, both men and women, teaching them about sharing equal responsibilities at home, having equal rights and control over their resources. It's a journey that takes too long, almost 17 weeks. And after that, you come up with people of the same understanding on how to control their resources and how to take decisions at home. So there are so many challenges at the community level, and we are still working on challenging those challenges to let women have equal rights as men in participating in agriculture, especially in horticulture. Yeah.
Any specific initiatives Professor Kwesi is doing, to help or upgrading the women participation in this sector?
Yeah, I have already mentioned it. It's taking them through journey of transformation.
Horticulture.
What the project is doing is promoting women participation in horticulture, in green beans, chili, poultry. Yeah. So the people we are working with are already in horticulture. So we are trying to change the mindset of both women and men, that men and women have equal rights and have the capacities to intervene and engage on all nodes of this value chain. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think each of the speakers here, panelists, tried to touch on all the questions we had prepared for them, but we didn't want to ask them many questions because we know it's a policy dialogue. We want you to dialogue with them. So let us allow enough time to ask. If you have a question to the business woman like Exporter Anne, or someone from PSF, Robert, or someone from a women-based organization, Professor Kwesi Hamwe, want to open the floor. If there is a contribution, a question, based on what these sessions do, or based on what they presented. Do we have question, comment, reaction? So, Secretariat, you help us giving out the microphones.
Maybe moderators.
Before, yes, you want to come?
Maybe as we receive the questions, I just wanted to mention two key things about women in business, and more especially women in horticulture. I had an association that has close to 65, and I think I've seen some of the members in this room. But one thing I've seen about women is that they are the companies that we have. I think those that succeed and sustainably perform are headed by women. I think it's really key to mention that, and I attribute that to, one, them being conscious about the decision they take, because horticulture as a sector is a very sensitive sector. I think I should mention also that it's very sensitive and it's very fragile. We deal with foodstuffs that are really regulated, and if you're not conscious about what you do, it becomes very difficult. Secondly, I think they have an instinct that we don't have. Women have an instinct we don't have. Men in the house here, you should know, none of us has cheated, but I've been told if a man starts cheating, a woman will know prior. So there is that instinct that God gave them to be able to, as the conversation takes place, they are able to analyze and make a valid decision on a business that they take. I think lastly is also that men who deal in business, because most of the business people that we deal are men, like clients we deal, that they are largely men. I think that's why we've been discussing this policy issue whereby we have to involve women in the business. They are men. So a man dealing with a woman, I think there's this trust that they develop, that a woman won't be able to cheat, won't be able to lie, because the women don't lie much, unless you want to challenge me on that. So they don't lie. So when they are discussing, there is this bit of trust that is developed, and the person on the other side will actually move faster with a woman than a man, because men, for us, we are quick and we are likely. What we speak with you in the face is totally different and what we are thinking about. So we speak with our mouth and think with our brain. So it is difficult. I don't want to degrade you, but that is how we are structured. I will be having so many things that I'm discussing with, but a woman will take on one task at a time. I wanted to just clear that.
Thank you for adding those thoughts. So do you have questions to the panelists or, addition? You have someone over there on that table? Nyarukari, nyuma ya microphone. Maybe you mentioned to who you are addressing the question, if it is a question or a reaction or an addition to what they said. Let us take like 5. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Irakoze Marie Glass. This question is dedicated to Robert. He said that they are putting more effort for us women to engage in horticulture. But if that is achieved, where are you going to get the consumers or clients? For nowadays, in some market, women, they are in big numbers, you have said 65% allowed. But in a family, they will buy fruit as the doctor have directed them to do so. So what are you going to do for those engaged in horticulture to be successful? That's my question.
Okay, mushobora kubaza ibibazo byanyu mu Kinyarwanda kuko apanelists bacu baracyumva, ariko kiriya ndibaza Robert yacyumvisha, I assume. You can ask questions in English or in Kinyarwanda, and thank you for the question. It is understood. Do we have, okay, iyo tugira nka babiri bafite microphones, maybe on this side, maybe on this side. Claude, leave the microphone for this side.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank
can
you
hear
so
you.
much. I am Felix from Koika Rwanda office, Korea International Cooperation Agency. I am representing the country director of Koika who couldn't manage to be in this meeting. From the presentation, you mentioned that women are involved in production 54.4%, but in marketing becomes 35%. You can see how the number drastically decreased. And as all we know, the most value chain which involves the effort and takes time is production. As all stakeholders in agriculture and different partners, how can we put much effort to put the women come throughout the whole value chain, also be represented in marketing or other final stages of the horticulture value chain? Korea International Cooperation Agency, in partnership with NAEP, we have a project, Smart Food Value Chain Management. It is focusing on reducing the post-harvest of horticulture product. It will focus mainly on chili drying, onion, garlic, and ginger. We are aiming to construct a pack house and a drying center at NAEP. I would like on this opportunity to encourage all the producers of chili to make more production, as we are going to have a strong infrastructure that will dry chili and add value before it is exported. I think most of the time we deal with vegetables which are perishable very earlier, but if we dry them, we pack them, it will also help in terms of export, because the quality that was mentioned as a challenge will be also solved. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we can give applause to that contribution invitation. Yeah, yavuze niba harimo nk'abaturage twatumiye abahinzi bahinga urusenda by'umwihariko n'ibyo yikiseho mwongera umusaruro ko tugiye kugira uburyo kujya barwumisha parkinga twongera umusaruro ko benshi bavuga ngo rurangirika ariko hari icyavuze mwazo no kumwegera mukamubaza tugiye wenda kuri tea break uriya mugabo muri koyika akababwira ubusobanuro bwabyo burenzeho ariko hari gufasha ko uwo musaruro utangirika ahubwo ugafatwa neza. So ngira ngo muraza komeza kumuganiriza during break kugira ngo umenye watarire ko yamenze. Okay, do we have? Yes, go ahead please.
Okay, murakoze. Nitwa Daniel Harimana Gakwerere nkaba naje nturutse muri BDF. Ndagira nshinzwe agri business muri BDF. So nashaka kubaza uwari wese kuri panel yagisubiza even n'abakoze presentation imbere babivuzeho kuri issue ya access to finance. Ngira ngo uwaje uhagarariye PSF yavuze ko horticulture ni value chain nziza biragaragara irunguka ariko turabizi neza ko imbogamizi zikomeza kubaho z'abantu bari mu buhinzi ni general katuvuge no kuri horticulture nko ariyo turimo hano bakomeza kugaragaza yuko access to finance ari ikibazo kubona amaloni ngira ngo banki zirahari n'abagaragaza ko badafite ingwate BDF turazifite ndetse ku bagore murabizi ko ingwate igera kuri 75%. So nagira ngo twumve neza ikibazo imbogamizi zihari ziri ku side niba ari kuri banki cyangwa even natwe niki twakora cyangwa se ku ruhare rw'abo bantu babirimo nta hantu mubona hari nk'ikibazo kuko nyiraho deje yigeze avuga kuri risk transfer umuntu ashobora gukenera gufinancinga agasanga nta insurance ugira imvura nigwa ibiza bizakuraho ya myaka umuntu ashobora gukenera gufinancinga agasanga urimo urakora ubuhinzi butajyanye n'igihe wenda igihe izuba niriva ntabwo uzashobora kuhirira harimo ibibazo byinshi ntekereza abantu bagomba gutekerezaho. So kuri policy level nibazaga ese ikibazo kirihe abantu ni bande kireba bagikoraho iki murakoze.
Thank you very much. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Murakoze. Nitwa Uwatwembi Florence nkorera muri Rwanda Standards Board ni gender mainstreaming specialist. Ni byiza kuri horticulture value chain ni byinshi byavuzwe mugenzi wanjye amaze kuvuga ku bintu bya access to finance. Ikibazo nari nagizeho nashakaga cyamatsiko ese iyo tugize nk'izi dialogue niba tubasha kwinvitinga abantu bo muri za banks kugira ngo babashe kumva ibibazo biri mu bafatanyabikorwa baba baraha kuko nibo ba providinga loans. Ikindi cyariho ni kuri policies zishobora kuba habaho zidirectinga ku loans. Nkeka ko policy makers bakwiye kugira icyo bazikoraho nkuko Anne yabivuze mu gutanga loans mu ngo kugira ngo umugabo asinye kikaba ikibazo hakabaho rooms zishobora kuba zafasha abadamu kuko nk'ubu muri standards dufite turi mu murongo wo gushyira standards zikaba gender responsive bivuze ngo zigomba kuba zikurikiza n'ibyo policies zivuga. In case policies zitasupportinga natwe standards hari aho bitugonga. Ikindi cya kabiri navugaho nuko iyo turi muri women economic empowerment ni business. Standards means business. For export bivuze ko export igendana na standards. Ese muri iyi mishinga yose ikorwa nkuko babashishikariza gufata loan kugira ibindi kugira ngo bagire kuri export kuko export nayo na loan byose is economic. Ese bajya bagerageza kubakorera kuri awareness kuri umumaro wa standards kuko muri business without standards business n'ubundi iracumbagira kuko benshi tutababona kuri export nuko bagera kuri rwa rwego rubasaba ama standards ugasanga kuko ni international it's a trade is export and import tuje kuri international ugasanga haraho bacitse intege bakabona standards zaze nk'ikintu kibaremereye kibacira urubanza kumva bagahagarara bakaba stuck. Umudamu rero iyo agiye muri economy abareba ibizamufasha ni gute habaho awareness kuri icyo kintu kugira ngo batagera kuri standards bagacika intege dufatanyije twese kugira ngo bumve ko zibafitiye umumaro for export bagakomeza badahagaze kumva ko ari ikintu kibaremereye. Murakoze.
Thank you very much. Can we have maybe a last okay, ndabona muri benshi cyane ariko turakomeza kuganira nabo muri coffee break. Let us take maybe 2 questions, others turakomeza kubibabaza abana panelists turacyari kumwe nabo. 2 questions, yes, you, and on this side 1 question.
Murakoze. My name is Emeline Kaneza, PSO muri ESO muri Rwanda Women's Network. Nashaka gushimira the panel for insightful comments baduhaye. I was challenged by Madame Anne Karemera because sometimes the issue dufite muri sector ya horticulture nuko twibaza ngo nabadamu bo mu cyaro abadamu bafise amikoro aciriritse. Ariko I was challenged because nibaza ko hari ico dushobora kubikoraho nk'abadamu byitwa ngo twarize cyangwa turi affluent. So mu kibazo cyo kuvuga ko nimba hari ikibazo cha access to finance, I was thinking, and I'm putting this to this audience, maybe we can think about a different model, nk'iya consortium. Hari abadamu bari mu buzi cyangwa bafise ayandi mikoro bashobora gupartneringa in a consortium with umudamu ari mu cyaro afite ubutaka kandi afite n'umwanya. Tukareba ukungene struggling on her own adafite access to finance, natwe dufite finance ariko nta mwanya cyangwa nta nubwo dufite izo mbaraga zo kuja kuri field. Tukareba ukungene partneringa kugira ngo mu gihe amikoro atarazamuka, mu gihe tutaragira credibility, abo badamu bataragira credibility yo kugira access, tube tuzamurana nk'abadamu kuko ntabwo twabirekera byose government cyangwa tubirekera amabank. So I was just thinking that muri ubwo buryo nimba bushobora gufasha tugafatana nk'abadamu abafite amafaranga badafite umwanya bafite n'ubwenge bagafatanya nabo bandi kugira ngo twese dukorere hamwe tugufatanya n'igihugu kiko kiraduteza imbere. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much. My name is Frida Gacheri from SNV Rwanda, and I lead the agri-food sector. I can stand. Yeah. My question goes to the 2 ladies. One, Anne, and I forgot her name. I was still getting translation into English. But I would like to hear from you, and especially in the interest of the young people here who would be interested in horticulture entrepreneurship. How do you overcome the issue of cyclical cash flows, the seasonality in your production cycles, and how do you keep afloat in your business regardless of those cycles, so that we can probably incite or stimulate other interested parties? And tied to that closely is the issue of financing that came from BDF. I got a bit of your translation also. The question is, if the issue is the cash access, what other models do we have that can be useful in the country, especially for asset financing? Sometimes it's not the money that is needed, but I picked from the presentation there's the issue of access to inputs and seeds, and probably equipment that could help producers to be more efficient in their production and reduce the burden and the time that's needed to be worked on the farm, considering other chores. What other modalities can we pursue to finance those assets and resources that are required for supporting women in horticulture? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as we close this session, do we have someone with a question to Profam to Esramwe? Okay, no specific question to Annette from Profam. All right, let us give the floor to our panelists to react on the questions. We start with Anne. If you have something you want to react on the question and the comments that you mentioned.
Numvaga ari compliments bampaye, so nago numvaga ari question, ariko uriya mudamu yavuze numvaga abantu bari muri export benshi baba bafite outgrowers. So muri ubwo buryo bwo gushaka outgrowers, wenda icyo gitekerezo cyawe ni cyiza, umuntu yabifatanya no kugira ngo wenda twibande cyane kuri abo badamu turebe ko twafatanya, naho ubundi n'uwo exportinga aba yafite umuri inyuma uhinga. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Most of the questions are at PSF maybe. Robert.
I will start with the lady, I didn't get your name, at the back, who was worried about market. You don't need to worry about market. You invest, come join the Association of Exporters. Trust me, you'll have the market. Any, be it locally or, is a microphone, no? Yeah. Locally, the market is widening. I think the population is also growing. We have now the East African community. The regional market is also growing. There's a lot of financing in other products that are coming up and to specifically target regional markets. I think ESC now has a population of 300 million people. Every day, people consume. So you don't need to worry about that. On the other part, probably, I would encourage also, and where we are doing a lot of advocacy, is in value addition, so that whatever that doesn't go on the local market is actually, there's some bit of value addition that is added on that product, so that we can actually improve the shelf life of these projects. Because we are having a lot of post-harvest losses currently, more especially in fruits and vegetables. You've heard about onions. I think I'm really excited about the drying machine that is going to be set up for the onion. That is really key. And the avocado, people have started engaging in avocado oil. We've seen people are getting into chili. We have Kawanga, which is famous, but also other business people. So these are opportunities that are going to guarantee that your investment that you make will continue to be fruitful. So, my dear sister, you don't need to worry. The other question was on strategies to put women in all stages of value chain. I think this was another question as per that. I would suggest that we look at some of the cases that have been mentioned here, cases on access to finance, cases on education for women, capacity building or mentorship for women into horticulture. These are areas that need to be focused on so that we can improve the performance of our dear sisters and mothers into the horticulture business. So I would, culture norm and stereotype is a very serious change, whereby women, believing women as a weaker person, they have no ideas, they don't have a word to say. You know, this perception that we have, it needs to change, and there need to have a lot of training and also sensitizing and engaging men so that they can actually support women. I would tell the ladies that are here, if my wife came up and told me that she wanted to invest in horticulture, I would gladly sign that loan so that she can get and invest in the business. Daniel from BDF. Daniel, the issue of finance has been an issue that we've discussed on several platforms. And one of the key factors that have come up, one was collateral as a key element in accessing finance. And we've engaged banks. I think also that answers the question of a person who asked about invitation of banks. We've invited banks, we've discussed over this. And one is having collateral. Two, devaluation of the collateral by the commercial bank. Three, the interest rate on loans. Four, the time of payment for agricultural products in line, because the bank considers your application as a commercial loan. And if I'm cultivating tomatoes today, and you've given me financing, let's say I've succeeded to get financing today, they are starting to charge me at the end of the month. And this product takes 3 months to get ready. Two, if I get my land and put it in the bank or a house, that house is going to be undervalued by 50% by the bank, because this is a policy by the National Bank of Rwanda that was set. So it becomes hard to even get the financing that you need to be able to invest in the project. Sometimes even those that get projects money, they fail to even have the resources they need to finance the project. At the end of the day, the financing fails, the project fails in the birth. On the issue of guarantee, I will actually be able to reveal today that guarantees and the banks today, maybe BDF and the banks, need to work out a formula on how they are going to work together to improve that policy, that guarantee thing. Because banks today, based on the experience they've had, they have already encouraged that for any guarantee that they are supposed to give, that money has to hit the account before they actually finance the applicant. So if that doesn't work, they have actually created excuses, and two ways. One, they delay the process so that you get tired and leave, or they tell the bank, the other applicant, that that money has to hit the account before they can actually finance. These are the challenges. I'm speaking from experience because I've gone through the same process, and these are the challenges that I've received. Either they will tell you you have no capacity to pay the loan. If you have all the requirements, they will tell you you have no capacity to pay. That is an excuse. It's a valid excuse. And the other thing is that some of these organizations that have channeled money in development banks, and the implementation is done by the commercial bank, they have given the mandate and the independence of the commercial bank to actually do the due diligence, so that before they actually submit the other application for guarantee, you have actually done the right due diligence. Once you fail, then it becomes a loss of the bank. So to avoid that, that conflict that is there has to be worked out between the commercial banks. On RSB, Florence, on the standards, I think we, as the horticulture sector, will have to work with you, maybe the private sector as well. If I speak in the name of the private sector, we'll have to work with you because standards is key. And currently we are dealing with one that has actually kind of put a hold on the investment in, because it kind of caught us off guard. So we have to restructure and to be able to invest based on the standards that are required. But also, it also helps in the consumption, what we feed people. We need to be conscious on what we feed people. As women, I'll stick to women because they are mothers. They have this mother character in them. So it is important. We are looking at chemicals, which is key, and it has become an international issue. So we'll have to maybe engage with RSB and be able to improve on that. The consortium was a comment. I agree with the lady at the back. On the issue of other financing models, which is the last question probably, I do not know anything that doesn't require cash, in my experience.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a microphone right and
kuri icyo kintu asorejeho kivuga other financing models, hari approach twagiye dukorana na, hari models twagiye dukorana na Oxfam mu bufatanye twagiye dukora. Natanga nk'urugero tuvuge nko mu buhinzi bw'ibihumyo, noneho ku bagore bari mu makoperative batoya bari mu mujyi, tukagira na partnership na Kigali Farm, tuvuge nini nuza company nini ikora ubutubuzi bw'imigina, ikaba yatanga iyo migina
hakazamo Kigali Farm, hakazamo microfinance, ko dufite dutera imbere microfinance, noneho hakazamo n'amakoperative cyangwa se abagore bari muri iyo business y'ubuhinzi bw'imigina, bakaba bahabwa imigina ku ideni, hariho amasezerano uko abo bantu ari batatu, hanyuma bazeza bakaba baragiranye amasezerano y'uburyo bazagenda bishyura microfinance, ariko barabonye imigina navuga ku ideni. Ubwo rero n'uburyo bushobora kuba duplicated mu bafatanyabikorwa mugenda mukorana. Hanyuma ikindi nari natekereje kuvugaho ni ikirebana n'uko nk'uko nyine navuga ngo dufite microfinance, turi big shareholder wayo yitwa dutera imbere microfinance, uko dukorana n'abahinzi farmers b'ingeri zinyuranye, haba hari concern nyine twagiye dufata tumenya, noneho tugakora advocacy. Niba tuvuge babahaye inguzanyo mu buhinzi bw'inanasi cyangwa se bwa ziriya kind of ibihingwa byose, crops zose bagiye bavuga, bakabaha inguzanyo bashingiye ku gihe bazereza, bagashyiramo na marge y'igihe bazaba bagurishije umusaruro, hakaba nyine ubwoko bw'inguzanyo buradapte kuri season y'ibihingwa. Numva rero ko no mu zindi banki abantu mukorana nabo mubakoreye ubuvugizi bashobora gukora kuri icyo kintu, kuko harimo na social aspect mu mabanki anyuranye bakaba babikoraho. Ndumva ari icyo gitekerezo nagira ngo nongere ku byo bavuze.
Arakoze cyane Dativa, n'umuyobozi badutera imbere, hanyuma akaba n'umwe mu bafashije gutegura ino nama. Arakoze kunyunganiza, akoze. Thank you very much. So do you have something to react on the comments before we close this session?
Murakoze. Nagira ngo nongereho ko mu byo twavuze tukora turi muri consortium y'abandi bafatanyabikorwa, harimo na Urwego Bank, nayo ifite iyo service itanga gutanga inguzanyo kuri value chains zimwe, imiteja, inyanya, ubworozi bw'inkoko n'urusenda, nayo ikaba itangaho inguzanyo yishyuza mu gihe cya season, itishyuza buri kwezi. So muri bimwe rero mu bisubizo abahinzi bakeneye harimo bene ibyo ngibyo, kuko muri access to finance nunganiye harimo ibintu bibiri. Harimo icyo kibazo cyo kutagira inguzanyo zigendanye n'ubuhinzi barimo, kuko inguzanyo nyinshi usanga zishyurwa nyuma y'ukwezi kandi season ari amezi 3 cyangwa 4 cyangwa 6. So iyo bavuga access to finance ni ukuvuga ko hari ukubura inguzanyo zigendanye n'ubuhinzi abakora ubuhinzi bakora, ariko nanone ku bagore cyane cyane kubura ingwate, ko twabivuzeho ko usanga yego fatanyije ubutaka n'umugabo, ariko kugira ngo afate umwanzuro wo kujya gutanga icyangombwa ngo bamuhereze inguzanyo bikaba bisa nkaho ari ibintu bitoroshye. Harimo rero abarimo kugenda batanga ibisubizo nk'ibyo ngibyo, cyane cyane amabanki amwe n'amwe, dukangurira n'ayandi kuba yagira izo initiatives, izo products zifasha abahinzi kubaha inguzanyo babasha kwishyura kuri season. Noneho n'ikindi kiyongereyeho na interest rate nayo ni ikibazo, kuko usanga umuntu agiye kujya mu buhinzi ayo azakuramo ari make kuri interest azishyura kuri banki. Nanone ugasanga hakenewe interest rate igabanutse. Niba umuntu azahinga akishyura interest rate ya 24%, urareba we yungutsa ngahe. Haracyarimo nanone n'icyo kibazo cya interest rate iri hejuru ku nguzanyo z'ubuhinzi. Murakoze.
I think we can give a round of applause to our panelists. Robert, you wanted to add? Because we have another panel which will be, I saw there is a commentator online, for people who are online, they are asking questions related to the second panel, which will be tackling policy issues, certification, policy measures. These ones will have another second panel. That's why I didn't really spend much of the attention on these questions, but if Robert wanted to react on what concerns this specific panel, maybe we can give him like 1 minute, because the time is running quickly.
Yeah. Train a woman, you train a nation. So that is a motto that we use, where I used to study, one of the whole that Vijay Makerere, Mary Stewart. It's train a woman, you train a nation. And ADB chairman Yarav said the next billion years will be in agriculture. So we don't want to leave our women behind. We want to support them and grow them, elevate them. As our president says, we have no choice other than supporting them to grow. So that is a comment I just wanted to make.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our panelists, Anne, Robert, and Annette, for the time and for the contribution. So we are still with them as you go to coffee break. We can still engaging with them to know, if you want to know, to discuss with an example of business women in this sector, you can discuss with Anne. You want to know what PSF is doing in this, supporting people to join the PSF of the chamber, you can talk to Robert. You want to know more what Professor Kwesi Hamwe, as one of the organizations supporting women, what they are doing, you can talk to them. So joining me, applauding to them for the contributions they made. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now want to take that group photo, and then we break for 20 minutes for tea and coffee. And then we come back for a last or a final panel discussion on the policy issues, because as you said, you want to close with lunch time. A late lunch, it will be around 1 p.m. or after. So we will take photo here. Yes, with the fashion group photo. I think we can fit into the photo. I was told by secretary that we have about 120, but we can fit into this, because I've seen photos of 600 people. Twahakwirwa chair harahari rwose muzigize imbere ziragaruka ntacyo zigira ku ruhande. So ziriya services nka ziriya batubwiraga, ziriya zifite seasonal credits, abatazizi mwakomeza kwegera bari bagiye bazivuga mukamenya uko zikora mukazijoininga. Hanyuma ziriya opportunities zagiye ziganirwa, cyo twatumiriye mushobora kubaganiriza mukabimenya. So photographe mudufashe ifoto igire vuba. Imbere oya turahagarara twese. Okay, I kindly invite you to join me here. So for the group photo, all of us, we can fit into the photo. Please. Turabinginze muze hano imbere dufate agafoto k'urwibutso rw'inama yacu. Bamwe bagiye hejuru, abandi hariya. Abayobozi mugumaho. Abandi munsange hano inyuma ho magaze, turabasaba ko mwese muza, murakwiramo ndabizi. Turabinginze ntagire umuntu usigara yicaye. Mwese muze hano murajyamo. Abantu bafotora murebe ukuntu mushyira kamera hejuru kugira n'abinyuma tugaragare. Muze hano inyuma ho magaze turajyamo twese. Claude mumfashe gushyira intebe zimwe imbere, intebe nibura nk'eshanu. Okay, ndabona ifoto biri bukunde. Ubwo baratubwira akajambo turi buvuge niba ari horticulture cyangwa chili. None kugira ngo ifoto zabe nziza. Abafotora mutubwira ni musoza. Abanyamakuru mugire vuba vuba. CNN officials dufate ifoto. All right, thank you very much. Now, we agree to use 20 minutes. Icyayi ni hano hanze kuri ino baraza. There is tea and coffee. So we can do as quick as we can for us to have a second panel discussion. Enjoy the tea and coffee. Secretariat musubizeho panel intebe z'imbere ko zari zimeze. Mudufashe gusubizaho intebe eme n'abandi bageze. Small announcement. If you want transport refund, make sure the phone number you put on the registration list, it is the one which is on mobile money, MTN. So, amafaranga y'urugendo barayadusubiza twese kuri mobile money, nimero ya telefone mwatanze kuri registration, wizere ko ari ukoresha kuri MTN mobile money. Niba atari yo uhace uyikosore. Murakoze.
that we have seen from different intervention that UN Women has done here in Rwanda is the empowerment of the local organization in terms of managerial, in terms of resource mobilization, in terms of even the capacity building, so that they are familiar with Rwandan context, they understand the challenges that are affecting women and girls, and also they have an innovative approach and a solution that can address those kind of challenges. The challenge that has been mentioned on gender stereotype, kind of mindset, the practices that affected more women to have opportunities to get involved in horticulture, all those challenges they have the capacity once they are strengthened financially, technically, as well as also continuous support in coaching. So we provided that kind of technical support and financial to make sure that they are going down to the grassroots level. Even those women and girls in the rural area, they are also reached so that they can have that kind of capacity and also enabling environment. I can give you an example. That's one of the programs that we are having on rural women's economic empowerment. It's a program that is really reaching more rural women in different districts. So we are working with different local NGOs and private sector to make sure that they are really reaching to more women to have actively participating in, as well as also making decision, because they really need that voice to make decision, or sitting where the decision are being made, and also helping them to access different tools, of course, that can help them to easily access information, educational materials, access to finance, as some of them mentioned the key challenges of access to finance and the others, as well as also linked to the different opportunities. So I think some of the challenges that I have seen that is really adding value is this synergy of making kind of researchers to make sure that any challenges that are affecting women, they are really addressed at a strategic level, where we collaborate and work with different stakeholders, including FFLP, to make sure that any policy advocacy that really need to be advocated at parliament level, they are taken to that level so that they can continuously make that policy in the future. So it's another best practices that we have learned, that within that framework that are really inclusive and engaging, it's to create different opportunities so that more women can easily access different opportunities from the production, from the processing, as well as also the market, and also enjoy the access to the income. Thank you. Maybe I will add on.
Yes, thank you very much for such insightful experiences and sharing what has worked for you and what UN Women is helping the government of Rwanda achieve. And we've heard that you are working both on the technical level, supporting financially, and today is really a policy dialogue. So we want to see what the government of Rwanda, especially the Ministry of Agriculture, and I'll ask Octave from the ministry as DJ to tell us what is there. We have partners such as the UN Women, we have the EU, we have Oxfam that are lending their hands and their brains so that we work. But what is there in terms of policy and the challenges you're having to make it even better? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe let's introduce myself. I'm Octave Nshimiyimana. I'm the Director General of Agriculture, Value Chain Management and the Trade Directorate. It's a new directorate in the Ministry of Agriculture since 2021, but we are dealing with all the value chains. So I think I'm in the position maybe to talk about policy aligned with horticulture value chains. So as you asked me, the role of the government, especially the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources.
Can you hear him? I think the mic is not on. Can you hear him from the back? Yes? Maybe I'll give you my mic.
Thank you. Okay. So the role of our government through the Minagri is being enabler. So, and coordinating, you need a kind of policy, you need strategy, but also you need partners. You cannot work in an isolation way, so you need people to work together and find out a kind of roadmap on how all the actors in different value chain would be working. So we have a policy, we have the PSTR4, which is the ending, but also we are brainstorming on having the PSTR5, which is coming soon. And specifically, we have also strategies that we work together with different partners, and some of them are aligned with the horticulture value chains. Since in horticulture, it's a category, but we have a lot of commodities that goes to horticulture category. So we have been working, with different partners to find some kind of strategies. I remember that the one which is new is a strategy that we work together with CRS. We had a kind of study that we did on how women can be engaged in horticulture in some of the specific districts, like if you remember very well, Ruavu, Rulindo, and Rwamagana. So we have also the other partners like TIAFAN that have a lot of activities that are going through the value chains, horticulture value chains. We have people, we have many. There are a lot of partners that are willing, to partner with the government, with Minagri, to boost our horticulture commodities. So beyond that, of course we have to work with financial institutions to be able to work on some of the issues that we mentioned earlier of kind of access to finance. And we are struggling, having some kind of projects, to discuss with the financial institution how we can, we can have, like a loan which is affordable to our actors, mainly women. So we know that, through the value chains we have segments. We don't need to go in the production only. So we have trade, we have processing, we have value additions, or we're not starting on the productions. And we know that each segment needs kind of financial support to boost, to boost how they work, to boost how the actors can work. So some of the challenges, we have some challenges, of course. Horticulture value chain is not alone. So we have other commodities, And for that commodities, you find that we need finance. Once it comes to finance, we have to support every commodity, which sometimes take time for some of the value chains, and it's really challenging. We have also a challenge of skills. Some of the value chains is very specific skills, especially some of the value chain commodities. When you see on this issue of pest and disease, you really need strong, skilled staff that can close cutting, in the countrywide. So it's very hard to find someone, who can help efficiently, but also who can go everywhere. So to be able to find some solution of some of the issues that we face. So, but we are trying, to on capacity building. We are trying with some of the projects that we have through our SPIUs, Minagri, SPIUs in IAB, and the RAB, so to find out on how we can increase staffing. And some of the projects, of course, we have worked with the financial institution to see on how we can provide those matching grants, the matching grants that will be really supporting, some of the actors. So, and on the actors, also we are challenged. We have find some of who get those matching grants, and they cannot be able to work efficiently to boost, to increase the production or to work perfectly so that he can get, you know, additional loans. So it's really challenging. So we'll need a return of investment on some of the investment that is being done by the government. So really some of the actors here, I've seen that even if we invite some farmers, I think they need to work hard and respect some of the contract that they are, you know, partnering with some of the exporters, you know. Well, we are finding those challenges through the value chain department. We find those solutions. We are trying on ourselves to see on how we work with the actors, but also the actors also have to work together to find the solutions as we are working with different value chains. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've heard from the man himself and what the government of Rwanda is doing. I'd like to hear from Ben. MasterCard is fairly new on the Rwandan market in terms of supporting work and supporting women. I'd like to give him 2 minutes to tell us what they are doing. You see MasterCard everywhere. 2 minutes to tell us how women can benefit from your programs and from your support, and especially in the horticulture value chain in Rwanda.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Just checking that the coffee has kicked in. I'm Ben Bizinde. I'm a program partner with the MasterCard Foundation. The MasterCard Foundation, I think most people actually, when they hear about the foundation, they hear about scholarships. But we actually do more than that. So the MasterCard Foundation started in Rwanda in 2018. 2018 through a strategy, which we call the Young Africa Work Strategy. And we have a target of having dignified and fulfilling work for 300,000 young women and men by 2030. And out of that, 70% is actually young women. So we have a target of 210,000 young women having a dignified and fulfilling job by 2030 in Rwanda. But across the foundation, it is 30 million. We do this through what I could say a roadmap of which has various sectors. So we have 2 growth sectors. One is agriculture, and the other one is tourism and hospitality. Because I'm pretty sure the break that we just had agriculture in it. So those are the 2 main growth sectors in the foundation. And we have an anchor sector that is entrepreneurship and MSME, because we cannot do away with that. And enabling sectors that is skills, education and skills, as well as the digital economy. So for agriculture specifically, when we started, we were able to do a diagnostic analysis of the Rwanda landscape. And actually what we came out to see is that horticulture came out to provide the most opportunities for young women and men, as well as the enterprises here in Rwanda, as well as poultry. And those 2 is something that we're actually doing. And the foundation does, our work is through a portfolio approach. So we actually work through consortiums. And in agriculture specifically, we work through an inclusive and holistic agri-food system. So we look at it, we look at someone through all the needs that they need. So for instance, access to finance, access to markets, as well as aspects on policy as well, going by the partners that we work with. So when it comes to improving productivity, we work with, so we have a consortium that is led by CARE. Good enough, one of the partners that is actually in that CARE consortium, SAV, was here in the morning, Profam Twese Amwe is actually part of that consortium. When it comes to access to market, so we have a consortium that is led by Trademark Africa. And we also come to access to finance. We have a consortium that has partners, inclusive of Urwego, UNCDF, and others. So the main idea is that someone who comes into a program that is funded by the foundation is actually able to increase their productivity. When it comes to aspects of access to finance, we've actually been able to work with the financial institutions to ensure that they are able to get like single-digit loans, to ensure that they're able to boost the schemes that they're actually operating in, and in a sustainable manner, such that even post the program, the financial institutions are able to uptake that and continue implementing it in such a way. And also when it comes to access to markets, that is the approach that you're actually using. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. We've heard from government, we've heard from UN Women, we've heard from MasterCard who's giving the money. Let's hear from Ingabire. You are a woman in the sector and you're exporting and you have your own challenges. Tell us if what they are saying is helping you or not, and what you may suggest that they do better so that other women out there can maximize what these partners are trying to do, because they're really trying, but we still have some challenges. Tell us from their perspective what is helping you and what is not helping you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Saying my name is Claudine Ngabire Mariange. I have been in export for 3 years now, and I would like to express myself into the Kinyarwanda, because the message that I need to share with you ladies, it is direct to you. So please, ndakoresha Kinyarwanda kubera ko message nshaka gutanga ndashaka kuyiha abadamu. Of course, sometimes I mix the languages aho bitari bunkundire kubera wenda terminology, ariko I try my best to use Kinyarwanda.
Feel free.
So I now ngiye kuvuga nk'umugore rwiyemezamirimo, entrepreneur, kandi ukora muri export. Ndavuga nk'umugore, ndavuga nk'umugore w'umuhinzi, ndanavuga nk'umugore w'umucuruzikazi. Mvuze nk'umugore rero, ubundi ukurusha umugore abakurusha urugo, n'ukurusha umugore abakurusha business, ukurusha umugore abakurusha amafaranga, mu byemere cyangwa mu byange, kuko turashoboye abagore, turihangana kandi tuzi kwizirika. Burya ndasaba abagabo rwose baraha babitsa abagore amafaranga yabo, bazaza kumpa feedback at the end of the day.
Cyane cyane.
Mvuze rero nk'umugore w'umuhinzikazi, turahinga, tugacya, tugakaraba, tugasa neza. Ubundi mutumenyereye turi abagore batera intabire, bakabagara, bakanasarura, kubera ko mu migenda kenshi habaga harimo abagabo. We are no longer there. Ntago tukiri abagore babagara gusa bagatera intabire, turi abagore b'abahinzi ndetse bana exportinga to international market.
Mumumpera amashi ariko.
Ndavuga rero nk'umugore w'umucuruzikazi noneho, ariko kandi nk'umugore wo muri export. Bambajije ibibazo bibiri, ndahera ku kibazo cya mbere. As a women exporter entrepreneur in horticulture export, how do you assess export market or export business? Nk'umugore rwiyemezamirimo w'umucuruzikazi, uko mbona isoko rya export. Export ni ubuzima. Ndabivuga muri 6 corners. Ndabivuga muri political corner, security corner, economic corner, psychological corner, sociological corner and education corner. Ariko reka mbaho urugero rutoya rukubiyemo izo corners uko ari 6. Ngewe ntuye mu gihugu cya Canada iminsi myinshi, ariko ndi umunyarwandakazi mwabyumvise. Reka mfate ku rugero rw'ibitoki. Ntago mu Rwanda dufite ibitoki dushobora ku exportinga. Kugira ngo tubashe kuba nakora export y'ibitoki, even if it is not horticulture, ni ingero ngiye kubaha. Kugira tubashe kubona ibitoki dushobora guha ku isoko, kuko amafaranga n'amafaranga export is export, dukoresha ibitoki byo muri Uganda. Umunsi umwe rero nari ndi kuri market aho ngaho muri Canada. Noneho kugira ngo ubone ibitoki muri Canada, mutonda umurongo kandi mukiyandikisha 1 month before ko bya bitoki bigera muri Canada. Noneho barambwa ati Claudine uri exporter kandi turashaka ibitoki, dore ibyo waduhaga turashaka ibitoki. Murabizi mu minsi ishize uko abaturanye twari tubanye, nta washoboraga kujyayo. Ndababwa ntago bishoboka muri no minsi, mwihangane mushaka undi muntu wabibaha. That was the political side. Ntago byashobokaga, ariko now I can deal it because igihugu cyacu ni umubanyi mwiza wa Uganda. That's the impact for political side into the export. Hanyuma ngero kuri social, muri za 6 corners navuze, sometimes hari igihe bakwaka ikintu kandi ugomba kugikora. Let's take an example of avocado. Mu Rwanda tugira season ya avocado, hakaba n'igihe tugira off season. Igihe twebwe tutazifite ziba ziri muri Kenya. What do you think as an exporter? You have to be there to make money. We move from Rwanda to Kenya, tukagenda tukazisarura neza twitonze nk'abanyarwanda, kuko tuzi neza ko umubano wabariya umeze neza natwe tugacuruza. Ntago ushobora kuvuga ngo ndareka kujya gucuruza kubera yuko hano turi muri off season kandi hari bihari. We have to partner nabo bavandimwe bacu kandi tukamakinga business. Mu ijambo rimwe rero ku kibazo cya mbere, export ni ubuzima muri za kona 6 navuze, kandi uwabitekereza byose yabyumva. Ntekereza ko ngarutse kuri kimwe Anne yatanzeho urugero ku bijyanye no kwiga, uriga kandi ukanigisha n'abawe ku buryo bitanga umusaruro. Igihe cyose uri kuri market uba wiga, kubera ko iyo wimprovinga nuko hari ibyo uba wize. Ngira ngo rero mu ijambo rimwe ikibazo cya mbere nuko export ari ubuzima muri za corners zose navuze. Ntekereza ko ntanashidikanya yuko it's also a brand ku gihugu, kubera yuko iyo tugeze baravuga bati izi ni product from Rwanda, izi ni avocados z'igihugu. Wenda mu bihugu tugendamo nk'ibyo byose usanga bavuga ngo boutique y'ibyo mu Rwanda, boutique y'ibyo muri Congo, boutique y'ibyo muri Cameroon. Niyo bicaye gusa ukabuzi ko nkaho dukunda guhahira muri Canada hitwa La Salle. Iyo ugeze muri La Salle barakubwira bati jya muri shop yo kwa runaka mu Banyarwanda. It's a brand. Igihugu kizamura ibendera, Canada yose igahahira muri La Salle. Ikibazo cya kabiri rero bambajije, to improve the export environment especially for women in horticulture, several actions can be considered. Iya mbere, it's a training and mentorship. Nahoze ngana na Dr. Robert arambwira ati ntago ushobora kubyuka ngo ukore business plan utari kumwe n'umuntu wakoze icyo kintu, NON. Ntago uzabishobora. Uburyo bwiza bwo kwiga no kwigana n'ubikora. Mentorship nziza, umwarimu mwiza umwarimu nyawe n'umwarimu kwigishiriza mu byakora. Join us please. We mentor you. We show you the way to do the things. Niba ushaka kwiga, igana n'ubikora, wigane nawe kandi umwigane bizakunda. We have to train, we have to mentor abo badamu kugira ngo babashe kubigeraho. Access to finance bakigarutseho cyane cyane cyane. Imitungo ni y'abagabo nyine twarabyemeye, nta n'ubundi buryo twabica ku ruhande, ariko ntekereza ko government iri kubikoraho, ariko sindi bubitindeho cyane. Ngereka mbanze nibusabira abadamu kuko nicyo nifuza gukora. Ni 50% byo ku mutungo ntari bukwemerere yuko uyijyana muri banki, ariko hari n'uburyo wakora business utangiriye kuri 0 utaramukenera, ahubwo ukazamukenera ari ugukeneye. Ndabaho urugero. For export we do dukoresha uburyo bubiri. Tugira imirima yacu tukagera n'aba outgrowers. N'ubundi buryo wenda bwa gatatu bw'umusupplier ashobora gusupplyinga akoresheje ibye cyangwa se agasupplyinga afatiye ahandi. Mugore mwiza, hera kuri gatoya. Genda uhinge. Anne yahereye muri jardin, atangira ari jardin. Nawe hera ku biti wenda tuvuge 100 ushoboye. Muri ya ratio baguha gura igiti. Muri hahandi wabonye gura igiti. Uhere ku giti gitoya ubanze ugitere, cyangwa se izo ndawe cyangwa se icyo kindi, n'amatunda yerera amezi 6. Uhere ku matunda make unsupplying. Come to me. Unzanire 200. Yanyungu ubonye uzasubirayo wongere bibe 200. Nibimara kuba toni nanjye nza ku networking. Life is about networking. Nzakwereka how to access the international market. Wohereza yo rimwe bwa kabiri bihita byijyana. Aragupaying. It's a lot. Come to us. We let you know. iyo wohereje toni rimwe ubutaha noneho wohereze ebyiri kandi uzijyaniye naho bihera. Ubwo se wakohereza toni ya mbere, iya kabiri, iya gatatu ukamuguramo cya mitsingi, iya kane ukazazana Henesi uyiguze ku giciro cyo hasi, wa mugabo ntaguha amafaranga? Ntibishoboka. Mwegera umwaturakitinga umwereke that birashoboka uhereye kuri bitoya. Namara gusogongera ku rwagwa rwahara hakurya azavuga wawo keep it up madamu, urashaka iki? Ntabwo uzongera noneho kuba uri kumusaba. Indi point is advocacy and policy change. Ni ibyo ngibyo bavuzeho sibitindaho. Inzira yaratangiye, ntekereza ko sindi mukuru cyane ariko kandi sindi na mutoya. Kompara ubuzima bwanjye nka kompara n'ubuzima bwa ba mama n'abashangazi. Nibuka ko mbere ya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi muri 1994 umudamu tuzi urwego yari ariho, abakuru kuri ngewe hano barabizi, ariko tuzi noneho aho umudamu ari. Intekereza ko iyo biza kuba ari muri 1994 ubu mba ndi kubagara nanatera intabire hakurya, ariko ubu ndi kuri pano mbwira abadamu ko isi turuna kubera ya politike nziza y'igihugu. Kagame wadutinyuye, watubereye urugero kwa ko yashyize abadamu imbere kugira kuko bari bashoboye, natwe turatinyuka birashoboka. Niyo polisi rero, urugendo rurakomeje kandi bizagenda neza. Market access support, ntekereza ko ari byo navuze yuko twe twateye intambwe, tuzabafasha gutera intambwe namwe abari inyuma. Promote inclusivity, nabyo ntekereza ko Dr. Robert yabivuzeho, and research data collection. Sinirwa mbitinda kuko pano ya mbere sa nkaho yagiye ibivugaho. Icyari kinyicaje imbere hano kwaro kubabwira ko umugore tinyuka birashoboka, ushobora guhera ku bito yukazamuka, nubwo tuzi neza ko byose bikorwa mu ifaranga kandi ifaranga rimwe na rimwe tutabasha kurigeraho, ariko twe twabigezeho, tuzabereka inzira twanyuzemo kugira ngo tubashe kubigeraho. Arahari ni icyitegererezo, nanjye ndahari n'abandi benshi, hamwe stronger together. Thank you.
Arakoze cyane ku byo Ingabire avuze, ntacyo nongeraho, hasigaye gukora gusa ngo twige dukora. Ngira ngo abadamu benshi turi hano cyangwa abo duhagarariye cyangwa n'ibindi bigo, ingera duhaye zirafadika. Duhere hasi, duhere hato, akawe kabe gato kabe kawe. Arakoze cyane. Nashaka kugurura the floor. Let me open the floor for questions, for comments. Dufite iminota 10 itarenga, abantu nka 2 3 ufite comment, ufite question specifically to somebody, nabyo mubivuge kugira ngo dukoreshe umwanya neza. Hari ufite ikibazo, ufite comment, hari umwe ari hariya, turafata 2. Arakoze, mwivuga n'izina.
Murakoze. Nitwa Munyana Winnie, ndi umunyeshuri kuri African Leadership University. Hari ikintu uvuze ngo cyama trainings kugira ngo abantu babashe kumenya ibyo bintu, ariko challenge nini umuntu ahura nayo ahubwo no kubona mentorship, kubona iki niyo waba ufite a business idea ugasanga irimo iraguma hasi kuko there are a lot of things utari kukubasha kubona kugira ngo producing your business yawe cyangwa se ubashe ku-implementinga nk'uko bikwiriye. So izo training urimo uravuga zirahari, ziri existinga, twa registeringa tugatangira cyangwa it's something kizakorwa?
Arakoze, very specific question. Twabona n'indi question check comment. Thank you.
Murakoze. Nitwa Major Moses Kananga from Ministry of Defense. Uko mubizi Ministry of Defense nayo no mufatanyabikorwa muri izi programs. Ari ibintu twagiye tuvuga, ariko mu by'ukuri ubona ko hari ikibura muri policy dialogue y'ingiyi. Policies zirahari nyinshi, ndetse n'abo bantu bica aho ngaho ba presenters bacu batubwiye ibyo bafasha, banakangurira abantu babajoining abadamu, ariko ikintu cyitwa implementation of policy implementation nge numva buri gihe niho habaza challenges kuko ni gute ibyo dutekereza ibyo tuvuga tubyimplementinga ni gute wa muntu uri hasi twebwe tuvugira ashobora kugira access yenda kuri ibyo bikorwa byiza bya UN Women bya Mastercard bakabimenya noneho se mwebwe ni gute mubasanga hasi twabonye presentation nziza yakozwe kare igende twereka gaps zihari muri production ugasanga nimo 54 uko bimanuka abadamu bagenda namba zigabanuka aho hantu hagati aho ngaho bagabanuka naho twakagiye tureba hari ziye challenges abadamu bahura nazo kuri buri step none se ni nabyo twakabaye tuganira twakabaye tubafasha gute ko numbers instead of decreasing zagenda zincreasing ibyo bintu rero nibyo twagombye kuba twahaye I personally nibyo numvaga byakabaye bidufasha kugenda twumva uburyo wa mudamu hasi uri hasi ugarukira muri production witinya yagera hejuru muri aggregation primary processing akagenda abura ni gute tumufasha. Thank you so much.
Arakoze afande na ya platform kuri Ingabire akamanza kishura kile kibazo and then give 1 minute to each panelist 1 minute kugira ngo musubize kibazo cha Ministry of Defense. Thank you.
Ku kibazo cya mentorship ntekereza ko nkuko nabivuze mentorship ubundi ikorwa mu buryo bubiri ariko 80% n'ubushake bwe ubundi umuntu aba good mentor kuko habayeho good mentee igihe cyose utazi icyo ushaka igihe cyose utari focused ntago bizashoboka you have to take yourself first then abandi bakagufasha uburyo rero bwa mentorship buri ukubiri hari inama nyinshi cyangwa se ibikorwa byinshi na yebu itegura bijyanye no gufasha abantu kwinjira muri sector ya horticulture and export dufite chambre y'aba exporters ikuriwe na Dr. Robert yabivuzeho muri no minsi turashaka kuintroducing a hub ku bantu bashaka kwinjira muri horticulture tukabafasha you bring your passion you have to be first passion before having business plan kubera ko ibindi ira ni bibiliya igufasha juste gukurikiza ibyo wowe utekereza ariko your mind ni igomba kubanza uburyo bwa kabiri ro bwa mentorship nuko wegera wabigezeho nyine ukigana nawe ushobora kwica you have to have a role model kavuga uti ngenda ndashaka kwinjira muri iki kintu kamwegera ukamuganiriza mukabana that's a B2B mentorship hakaba rero iyo mentorship ishobora gukorerwa mu nama rusange nk'izo zateguwe na YEB cyangwa se iyo chambre y'aba exportateurs igiye kuba introduit par des exportateurs afande yanyemerera nabwo nkagira icyo mvuga gatoya kuri kiriya cya implementation of policies nibyo koko nacyo nakivugaho nk'umugore igihugu kirakora igihugu kikatubwira igihugu kirahizo policy ariko ntekereza ko umugore ari we wa mbere wo kugira ngo abijyemo of course hari uko ubikomoje kavuga uti bamanuke babegere ariko bashobora no kubegera hakabamo abitinya hakabaho n'abagenda bakagarukira hagati ntekereza ko n'uruhare rwa bombi igihugu kikavuga kikanakora ariko muri implementation tukashyiramo uruhare rwacu nk'abadamu nicyo nakomeje kwinsistaho hari uko baza badusanga natwe tukaza tubasanga ntekereza ko polisi imaze kugeraho n'uruhare rwacu nk'abagore icyo kibazo rero ntekereza ko bari bugisubize nibyo ariko niba umubare ugabanuka ntekereza ko hari cya kindi twasabye kandi kuko twongera kwinsistaho cyane mbere yuko tuzadutekereza ku mafaranga dutekereze kuri mind ya social cyangwa se ya mindset twifitiye tukarana iki cyabanza kugira ngo tubanze dukore mentorship cyane ku bagore in terms of gukunda ibyo bakora in terms of kuba professional mu byo bakora noneho ikijyanye na finances kikabona kuza ari iyo police yakagombye kubiganisha kureba koko impamvu uwo mugore ari ku decreasing than increasing. Thank you.
Arakoze cyane Claudine. Muri Rwanda Women's Network dufite ishirahamwe ryitwa Bandebereho. So I'm going to put it into practice. I'm a leadership coach. So ubwo next year nk'iki gihe nanjye nzaza mu mbere mentor mu bintu bya horticulture kugira ngo ivyo tuvuga tujya tuvugira muri panel tubishire mu bikorwa. Nze nanjye ngende ku encouraging abadamu hari yepfo hari ico nanjye maze gukora kuko naritinye kandi mfise uburyo bukeya nashobora kubikora. Ubwo it's my accountability kugira ngo abadamu tuvuga implementation ibe real. Implementation ibe real. Umunota umwe hama tugasubiza the floor. Murakoze.
Arakoze afande kuvuga ku kijyanye na implementation. Nge aho yavuzemo za challenges zirimo, ariko nge ntabwo ndi worry cyane about challenges kuko challenges zituma abantu batekereza. Maze muri agriculture sector imyaka igera kuri 15 uko twatangiye ntabwo ariko tumeze ubu ngubu, kandi n'abadamu ko bagiye increasinga ubona ko hari intambwe yatewe. Ariko nkuko abivuga challenges zishobora kuba zadutera ikibazo nizo tuba twiteye, kuko uyu muntu yanditse umushinga cyangwa ashyizeho policy aba yayanditse neza, ariko the actors bagiye kuyizamo niho usanga harimo ikibazo. So nka government rero ni naho tuzanamo ibijyanye na regulations, byaba na ngombwa akajyaho n'izo ministerial order, ariko hakazamo no guhana, kuko ibi tuvuga it's a business. Iyo ari business bivuga amafaranga. Ahantu hari amafaranga rero ntabwo habura na malpractices. Ku buryo twe nko muri government tureba tukavuga tuti niba abactors batari mu gukora gutya, let's set some requirements kugira ngo byibura turebe yuko niba ari amafaranga ategereje kugera ku badamu abagereho, ariko nabo bayakoreshe neza. So twagiye tubona za issue nyinshi tutasubiramo ahangaha, ariko ndatekereza yuko uko leta igenda setting guidelines kugenda ishyiraho izo regulations bigera bituma n'abantu noneho babona ko bitakimeze nka mbere, bagatangira gutekereza uburyo performing. So nkaba rero nge nababwira yuko we nagifite flow nuko horticulture value chain zirimo amahirwe. Ubwo ndazikompara n'izindi value chain nshinzwe, zirimo amahirwe kubera yuko ubona amafaranga aza mu buryo bwihuse, kandi noneho amafaranga ala cross cutting muri segment nyinshi. Nuvuga ngo ushobora kuba ndi umudamu mpinga, ariko hakazamo n'undi mudamu ukora trade. Nk'ibyo yatubwiye umuvandimwe hariya kugira ngo uzakore trade umenye izo information ziri Kenya, bigusaba izindi skills wasanga wenda wa mudamu uri mu production adafite. Ari niyo mpamvu tuvuga ngo buri segment yose tugomba kureba uburyo tuyijyamo nk'abadamu tugatinyuka. So rero horticulture value chains ubona ko ariho hantu heza, kandi natwe turimo turabikoraho rwose, ku buryo turimo turanareba uburyo twamenyere ko abantu bahinga ariko ntamenye ibyo yinjije. Turimo turakora za kind of business motto, ibintu buto bwafasha kubona umuntu niba agiye guhinga French beans akamenya ari bushore, akamenya ari bwunguke, akareba no muri ya segment uburyo iyo yajyamo imworoheye. Dufite young generations, dufite abana benshi barimo kugraduating from school, especially for horticulture. Twifuza ko nabo bagomba kuza bakabona kuri ayo mahirwe. Ariko icyo mwizeza nuko izo challenges zijyanye na implementation tuzikoraho, iziri mu izo dushobora kuba twakoraho, ariko nyine abantu ntabwo dushobora kubahindura, ariko tukora uburyo bwose tukora prevention. Ari naho hazamo ubwo kureba uburyo ayo mafaranga agenda azamo, abo tuganira nabo, aba partners, amafaranga bazanye tukareba uburyo agenda akagera kuri wa mugore hasi, ariko nawe tukamukurikirana kugira ngo yakoreshe neza. So ni ikibazo rero cy'igihe, ariko nabizeza yuko challenges zidufasha gutekereza beyond, ariko zikanadufasha noneho no kumenya uko iyo value chains izagenda itera imbere. Thank you.
Arakoze cyane, murakoze kutwizeza nka government, nka ministry ya agriculture in charge of this sector. Ni policy dialogue ira continue out of this podium. Reka dukomeze ibi biganiro tureba ukungene twakwiteza imbere, twateza imbere abadamu muri iyi sector, ariko engagement ntabwo iri burangirire hano. Let's continue engaging and working with partners. Na nifuza gushimira aba panelists mu bampera amashyi for their time, for their input. Mwakoze cyane. I'll give the floor back to the organizers. Thank you.
nanjye mufashe dushimire uwayoboye ibiganiro by'umwihariko. Thank you very much for moderating with this panel discussion. Yep. So you can see we had already some more questions, comments. This is a hot topic. When I'm discussing on horticulture, women participation is a hot topic. But as you said, we still have some time of networking through lunch time, and we will see if we can keep having these discussions along the way. You want, Willis, are you ready to present? Yes, Willis have some recommendations, some of them. Because we have a team which is writing down the recommendations and the report, I want to invite Willis to come forward and connect the machine to see if he can show us some of the key recommendations from this meeting. They are not exhaustive, of course, because we are still taking notes. But if you think there is a burning recommendation which is not presented, let us know before we say these are key recommendations from our discussions today. We will prepare a detailed report and share to participants, but these are some of key recommendations. After the recommendations, we will have the closing remarks, and then you call it a day. There are some participants who have been, Godfrey, some participants have been asking the PPT you made, Gakwandi. Godfrey. Some participants basabaga iriya PowerPoint wakoze. Is it ready to be shared through emails, or it is a work in progress? Okay. Very good. I will share. If you registered your email on the attendance list, we will share that PowerPoint which Gakwandi made. So, I team dufashe mushireho zino screens. Projector? Yeah, projectors. Kiri ones. It is on. It is coming, sorry. All right. So, aratwereka some of the recommendations. Ariko nkuko mubizi bari kwandika ari batatu batandukanye ibitekerezo. Nimubona hari igitekerezo mwumva twakora muri iyi nama kitavuzwe, mukitubwire bacyongeremo abari kubyandika. Ni draft 0. Kugira ngo tumenye ngo recommendations tugiye gukuramo can form. Okay?
Okay, murakoze. Ngiye nitwa Richard Mungwakuzwe, ndi umukozi wa HCR. Ushinzwe ibikorwa byo guteza impunzi imbere. Murabizi government y'u Rwanda ifitanye hari commitment yagize wenda nihuse bijyanye na inclusion of refugees. Muri bimwe rero muri policy tuya dutegura dukora nk'iyo commitment ya government, hari groupe y'abantu b'impunzi kandi mu by'ukuri bafite ibikorwa bitandukanye, bakora business, barahinga, bafite ibishanga bitandukanye dufatanyije na leta y'u Rwanda yagiye itanga kugira ngo bakore n'abaturage mu guhinga, ku buryo nabo bari gutanga umusaruro. Bamwe turi kumwe n'ahangaha, ari impunzi turi kumwe ahangaha, nkaba nawe no nifuza ko mu gihe dutegura hari amapolisi, ari ibiganiro bitandukanye, nk'ubu niyo mpamvu twishimye cyane kuba twatumirwamo muri iyi forum, kuko ni byiza ko nabo baba integrated muri business zitandukanye dukora mu Rwanda, cyane cyane muri z'ubuhinzi, kuko tuzi ko mu Rwanda hanini ubutaka bunini turahinga, nicyo dukora abaturage benshi. Bikaba rero anasaba n'abakora business batandukanye hano kujya batugana muri izo groupe zitandukanye z'impunzi dufite zihinga, uko bafite ubutaka bunini, bafite byinshi bahinga, batangiye nabo competing ku market, bikaba byazadufasha kugira ngo nabo bagomeze batera imbere, biyumvemo nk'uko u Rwanda rwabakiriye neza. Murakoze.
Murakoze namwe.
Good afternoon. My name is Willis Okul, as mentioned. I've been taking a number of recommendations that I'm going to share with you, key ones. But please feel free, as he has mentioned, to add more so that we incorporate them in the final document. So the first one create women economic empowerment opportunities. This should be done through programs that support skills development for women, entrepreneurship and leadership, and provision of tailor-made business development services and awareness creation through vernacular and rural-based radios. Recommendation 2, gender mainstreaming in extension services. Deliberate women-focused extension services should be put in place to offer women-friendly support. This should be done by deploying female extension agents or go further to improving unpaid care work. Commission an in-depth study on women participation in horticulture value chain. Researchers should undertake a study to inform the participation of women in horticulture value chain, including challenges and opportunities, best practices, knowledge management with clear recommendations. Capacity building and training, there should be deliberate efforts to build capacities of women to meaningfully participate in horticultural value chain. This should be done through women-focused trainings in basic horticultural practices, agronomy, irrigation, post-harvest handling and storage, value addition, market access, networking and business, gender equity and empowerment, technology and innovation, quality standards, certification processes, and linkage to financial institutions. And there's an addition that there should be more specific products for like seasonal loans for the women so that they're able to undertake the horticultural production. Recommendation 5, facilitate market access and integration of horticulture value chain. Work on creating linkages with buyers, processors, and exporters. Specific action should focus on market information and systems, thematic research, networking, quality and standards, compliance, value addition and processing, transport and logistics, access to finance again, market diversification, post-harvest management, market information systems, and risk management. Policy advocacy, recommendation number 6, organize issue-based advocacy that is pro-women, and this should be aimed at enhancing women education, skill trainings, for instance, on production and market access, looking at the entire horticultural value chain. Thank you. Some of the recommendations are very clogged, but as we finalize the report, we'll be able to single them out so that they are clearer. Thank you.
Okay, this is the time for inputs for the recommendations. If you have already a recommendation which is not mentioned there.
Thank you. I'd like to suggest that we can add on the recommendation around capacity building. I don't remember how it is elaborated, but I wish to add mentorship and business coaching, as we understood and we know that it is really very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Under capacity building, mentorship.
I would encourage on issues of policy reform, more especially that pertain access to finance. Should be a key recommendation to help us improve access to finance for women and generally even other people who are involved in the agricultural sector.
Yeah, policy reform where necessary. It's also a key recommendation.
Ndumva naho twakongeramo yuko this kind of policy dialogues zagombye no kuba along the platforms aho horticultural value chain ziri favorable, so ku buryo ntabwo twakora export nziza tutari on local trade market tutari efficient. So it needs yuko abantu niba ari tuvuge nka Nyagatare, they should be kind of platforms very well organized, ikora neza kandi ikora igizwe n'aba actors, and partners can support, but actors bakaba ari taking a lead. Thank you.
Like having a forum at district level, Yes, okay. Thank you, Dej. We is now as Rwanda Karabyumva having networks in the value chain in district level.
The integration of a gender-sensitive approach in the value chain should be a recommendation so that both women and men will benefit equally. Integration of gender-sensitive approach within the value chain should be a recommendation so that both women and men will benefit equally.
Very good. On access to finance, if you saw what we write as a recommendation was banks to have specific products, like an example which was given of seasonal loan. But if you think there is another recommendation, because access to finance was highlighted as one of the key issues.
Murakoze, ngira ngo recommendation at. Oh, thank you. I would like to recommend that regarding access to finance, there should be an innovation platform whereby you bring together those different actors who are ready to support agriculture value chain so that they can address those issues together with beneficiaries. It can be regularly, maybe quarterly or annually.
Thank you. Noted.
Thank you so much. I want to add another kind of recommendation on the integration of the intervention that are addressing the unpaid care work burden on women, especially the intervention that are come to reduce, redistribute, as well as also raising awareness on unpaid care work within Rwandan community, where it will involve men, boys, all of them share equal responsibilities within the family at also the level, as well as also we give an opportunity for more women and girls to have access to the different economic opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Too many recommendations, but it's good. I hope, Willis, you are taking notes with your team.
Thank you very much. I think I picked awareness, a lack of awareness of what is going on. A couple of people presented there, like there is UN women, they spoke very great stuff, and there is a lot that is being done. But like Afande said, you know, when you look realistically on the ground, people may not be knowing. And I think also there is scattered effort. There is some need of coordination of what you people are doing. Some of them are repeating themselves instead of joining together and, you know, having a greater impact. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now we can take a last one. Otherwise, when we send the report, you can still send your inputs in the report. But let us hear from Janvier.
Thank you very much. Even if our country has gender-friendly policies, I have seen that some women are still struggling in their business. So, but we have seen also other number where we have women succeeding their business. I would like to recommend that to have a space for testimonies for those businesses led by women, and they are going to show others how to succeed well, and the people can be more involved in the business across these horticulture value chains. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the key recommendations have been given, but there is a participant who said we need also to add a recommendation on how all the recommendations will be monitored. Because most of meetings, policy dialogues, we gather like this, we write very, very nice recommendations, but nothing is done. So we'll have like a last one. Who will monitor? How will it be monitored? Maybe EPRN as a network will contribute to that one, but work hands in hands with organizing organizations like Duterimbere, Duhamike, Oxfam, and the others. But also, both of you, we are here representing various institutions. If you work at, PSA, if you work at financial institution or, at development partners, you can think from this list of recommendations which one is related to what you can do, what you can support. If it is advocacy, if it is awareness, maybe you are an NGO and you can support, you can pick one or two recommendations which are aligned to your work. But general follow-up, EPRN, of course, will do it in collaboration with organizers. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Seth. I think we can have clear orientation on this. If you have an event like this, organized by different partners, so we have the recommendations. It is possible to have the column saying who will be responsible, which institution will be responsible for the implementation. So we cannot say all will be for EPRN or Oxfam, but the organizers can sit and see which institution will be following the implementation of this recommendation. Second comment, we have many recommendations. Secretariat and the team can sit. Yeah, some recommendation can be out of the discussion because we need to really to be sure that all the recommendations comes out from the policy dialogue and it will be possible to implement. So the draft document can be discussed with all organizers and they will have the final list of recommendation and the responsible for the implementation. And in order to be able to report in other policy dialogue that they will have implemented at least this percentage of the previous policy recommendations, I think that will be the good way of moving and see how the policy, the recommendation are implemented from this kind of, because we have regular policy dialogues. So that is what I can add for this and orientation for the recommendation, implementation of the recommendations.
Thank you, Prof. We take note. We will prepare the table recommendation to who, how to monitor it. Robina from RDB, if you want to add something before we close.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to ask as well as give a recommendation. We saw something that was coming again and again. Hari ikintu cyakomeje gusubirwamo access to land. Asking on the policy level again on from the Ministry of Agriculture. Is there a land that is allocated to expanding the horticulture farming for women? Like there are different phases, Gabira and other phases of the irrigated land and other lands. Is there a land that is allocated to women in horticulture or in agriculture? That's a question that may be a recommendation if it's okay. And I had another question that might be a recommendation once again. It was supposed to go to MasterCard. MasterCard, I know there is money that is supposed to be supporting different sectors or business entities, including horticulture. If it's true, you will tell us. On the policy level, if you participate in the policy allocation, is it possible for the money, if it's given to Trademark East Africa, is it possible to ensure that they are working with organizations or business associations that support or that work with the women entrepreneurs or the women in horticulture or in agriculture? We have like the Horticulture Association. They know the women that are in and what they are facing or the challenges that are within. I don't know whether you emphasize that they work with such associations, or NAEB or Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robina. I don't know if the question is, before we close, if DG Octave, you have to react on them, or if they are asked for reaction. She was asking some of the question regarding land allocated to horticulture, if any specificities. DG, okay. Maybe you can react on this, and then we close the session.
So thank you for the question, but I was asking myself if women can work alone without the presence of men in one of specific marshland. So we don't have that kind of initiative where we have a kind of land that attributed to women, but once they come giving land of someone, we encourage women also to be part of it. But we cannot, for gender equity, we cannot segregate men and women, but they can work together. So maybe that land can be specific for any crop which is favorable with the land. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another question was to MasterCard. Do you want to say something about that?
Okay, so thank you. Maybe just one correction. It is the MasterCard Foundation, because there's a difference between MasterCard Inc. and MasterCard Foundation. So it's just MasterCard Foundation. And then one thing is that we work with local organizations, because one of the mandates that we have is 70% of those that we're working with have to be local organizations. So we work with NAEB, we work with the Rwanda Standards Board for Trademark Africa, because they work on certification standardization, and all those bodies that actually work closely with entrepreneurs. So the grassroots is actually where we dwell on, and then going up to the others. And then maybe the other thing is that, as I mentioned earlier, ours is actually mostly on a portfolio approach. So we don't work with on silos. So for instance, the consortium way of doing things is how we approach it. So even when I mentioned about care earlier on, talking about increased productivity. So there is care, there's Profam Twesehamwe, that actually works on gender mainstreaming. There's Rugwego, that works on the financial, access to financial inclusion. And so like that is how we operate to ensure that that journey of transformation of someone that you're working with, mostly a young woman, is actually able to access all those services and be able to improve in her livelihood. So yes, we do work with local organizations in country.
Thank you very much. Have one small recommendation, then you go for summarizing on the recommendations, then you will receive Dativa from Duterimbere, closing our dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to first appreciate all presentations made and recommendations that were given here. And my name is Penina, and I'm from Pias. It's a university based in Huye. We also have a campus in Karongi. Now, coming from the higher learning institution, I would like to recommend that we make use of our institutions that are around, especially in the area of research, where universities, scholars can do scientific research, because some of the things that were being discussed here, there are some that you feel lack some evidences, and yet we have researchers that can do research and inform policymakers, as well as practitioners, organizations that we see here. But most of our universities here in Rwanda also have programs that would be very useful to help these women in the field to perform very well in their field of horticulture, and also the marketing and selling of their products. So I felt that I would be lobbying myself if I don't extend that interest of working with the women in horticulture business, and also doing research in that area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I'm not going to summarize, but thank you. There are key factors actually that came out strongly from this meeting. One is the access to finance, education and capacity building, mentorship, cultural norms, and research. I thought this meeting would be an opportunity, as Professor Rangwa said, to really give an orientation on which institution should be directed to. If you allow me, Seti, and the team of the APRN to really interrogate more and get who should take lead, or who we can propose to be the policy action custodian, rather than doing it when most of the participants have left. Thank you.
Okay. I would think he's going to do it for us, but you can do it together. Key issues, I think one was access to finance. What can we do? Because the challenges are many, but access to finance is an issue. Do you think who has to take an action on this? It's all of us, it's who, I don't know. We need to take notes of who is responsible.
On access to finance, we've had an engagement, I think, with the support of QA, and there's a report that was done. What we discovered, the only institution that would help us address the issue of access to finance is National Bank of Rwanda. That's where we felt all the issues can only be solved. National Bank of Rwanda and Ministry of Finance, probably. But National Bank of Rwanda gave the regulation, so they would be the people to help us address these issues.
If I add on what Robert said, or maybe other financial institutions, all of them, the banks, because they are the ones to have products, specific products, initiate products related to women and the agriculture. A second issue was access to land. Though Robin RDB said the Ministry of Agriculture is the one, but maybe there are other partners like the Ministry of Charge of Land Allocation. I don't know if it is Ministry of Environment or Minagri. Mowe, Ministry of Environment. Do we have someone from Ministry of Environment here? Ministry of Environment. Do you have someone? We invited them, but we make sure we do recommendation on this. So those are the key recommendations. Others, another one, the mentorship. Yes, education and mentorship. This is a shared responsibilities, but who should be, responsible? Anyone who can advise, maybe who can be the custodian, even though there are so many players. University of Rwanda? No. Ministry of Agriculture, I think. In RAB. The role of RAB is what? Research only or also extension? So who has a good, you can speak loud. Fogachan. But the read. Yep. Yeah, Minagri can read, but also other players. So we will think exchanging. I think it is a good, a wrong process. Because we have many recommendations, EPR will propose, a proposed recommendation by who. We send it to you. If you have an input, you come back to us with the comments. So for the interest of time, kindly allow me to invite the person to give us closing remarks. Dative, on behalf of the organizing team, Oxfam, Tuterimbere, and Duhami Kadri Kokov. Thank you. As we are giving applause to her.
Thank you. Nashaka kugira ngo mbwire abatumire bacu dukorana umunsi ku munsi nk'uko basobanuye ko bazabaha ibi bikoresho incamake y'ibyavugiye aha ngaha. Project participant abafatanyabikorwa bacu muzabona incamake mu Kinyarwanda. Bambwiye ko mbibagezaho ibyo bemereye abandi ko bazabitanga hazaba harimo n'incamake mu Kinyarwanda ku buryo namwe muzumva nubwo bagiye babisobanura neza ibyo twaganiriye. Dear friends, stakeholders, let me take this opportunity to thank you all for coming and allowing us to have such interesting session, participatory one. We really thank you very much. It is on behalf of the whole consortium and on behalf of EPIN. We thank you very much for facilitating this session. It is an interesting one, and we stay in touch for putting in place all those recommendations that comes from you and from all the discussions we had this morning. We thank you a lot, and we promise to stay in touch and to respond to your coming invitation, if any, being Duterimbere, Duhamik, Kokof, or Oxfam. We are together for constructing our nation and for enhancing opportunities in this value chain. Thanks a lot. The session is closed, and we invite you to a networking lunch.
Arakoze cyane. Rya tangazo natanze ababishinzwe bamusabye kurisubiramo kubera ko hari abaturutse kure ariko n'abaturutse muri Kigali nabo wenda hari fuel cyangwa iki hari agatransport bari bageriye Oxfam bansabye rero ko kuri attendance list aho mwe yanditse nimero ya telefone washyizeho ibe iri kuri mobile money ngo niyo bari bukoreshe ariko nibuze wenda ko wayanditse ugashyiraho indi taba kuri mobile money wahaca hariya ugashyiraho iyo namba kuri mobile money bari basabye kurisubiramo ubundi amatike ya lunch hariya kuri ku muryango bari bafite murabizi ko hari muri hotel baguhaga abapuro ko berekana kuri lunch. Thank you very much muryoherwe.